doing it. Gonna be a lot of interest.
Everybody wants to play. It's the new thing.
The new hotness. Yeah, I know. Maybe I should have creepier music playing for this place. Like, I have just the regular tavern music playing, and it feels too peppy for where we are.
Seems a little peppy.
Can you get some music? It's like smog.
It's like death and burning dragon fire. Do you have one of those?
Just put on Icy Fire.
Yeah, at some point, I'm probably gonna need the tavern talk thingy.
I've returned.
He's back! We started the stream without you, sorry.
That's fine.
That's alright.
I mean, I wouldn't expect you to be.
Get him.
Oh, also, hi, Thomas. We
Hello.
never met before, except over text, but hello.
Yeah. Hello.
Alrighty. So is everyone here?
I believe so.
We are missing Rob.
Rob is not going to be able to be here tonight.
Yes.
Okay, so. Damn you, Casey. Alright, for that, Casey, you get to tell us what happened last time.
I get to tell a story?
You get to tell us what happened last time we played.
What happened last time we played? That was a long time ago.
It was in a galaxy far, far away.
Summon the power of the Burger King, Casey.
I'm summoning forth memory. This might be a little shaky, but I believe that wow, did the whole attack and Demogorgon thing happen last session we played? I think it might have.
I believe it did.
Okay, so a brave, handsome, wise, adept, and stealthy gnome set out to scout the location where a horrific sacrifice was about to take place, and having done so with absolutely flawless skill and panache, returned to inform the party nothing special was happening, but there was a sacrifice that would be ongoing soon. The party then set out in guise of sacrifices to join a Druger captive, and all heck broke loose. We made it fairly close to the sacrificial area, wherein the Druger was in a cage with kind of a grate bottom, where he would probably be stabbed, chopped up, possibly pushed through the grate and fed into the nasty stuff in the water. Battle broke out. The priestess slew her father, or possibly froze him like a statue. Spiroquette was a little bit preoccupied, doing an exceptional job, dashing about the battlefield, throwing knives with deadly accuracy, while other people did something or other. And eventually, the priestess fell dead. As she did, the other creatures and followers began chanting, and it seemed that they summoned, or perhaps simply alerted, a large two-headed baboon-featured demon of some sort, which came ashore and laid waste to the town while we made our way away in several canoes that were fortunately out of the path of danger and available to us and reasonably well provisioned. We then set out across the Dark Lake, encountered a little bit of that horrible magical mist that the demon's essences were being put in. We spotted a semi-submerged statue with very valuable eyes that someone failed to take the second of, but did capture the first of, which came in handy later to save the party from an unscrupulous scoundrel who attempted to rob them of our most valuable possessions.
Our most valuable possession.
Shuns.
It was a singular possession.
But our pride and our dignity would have been taken with it. And that was really the important part. The pride and dignity that was saved. Which I believe left the party standing in and around the docks, heading towards a resting area, having paid off the guards after spotting a large red dragon. And I forgot, we also met another of the... Help me out, my turtle friend. Who are your friends with the pure thought, enlightened something or other?
You're really close.
Society of Brilliance.
Society of Brilliance.
There you go. You got it.
Thank you. Another of the Society of Brilliance was met just before we arrived in town. Who did give us a little veiled warning that things might be a little shady in there. But, I was distracted by the giant red dragon flying overhead, so, I gotta kill it.
Those dragons that don't exist.
This imaginary flying red dragon.
What, like Nevermore?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly like Nevermore, just a little bigger, more red, slightly scaly, bigger
Isn't
tail.
everything big to you? You're so tiny.
I am. But, and look at my hands. They're like, my hands are, ew. So, there's that.
Well, it looks like you touched something you shouldn't have touched then.
I didn't though. The ore touched something, and then if I had touched the gem, I would have just had the gem. I was over caution. This is what happens when you think too much about what's going to happen. I should just reached out and just plucked those eyes.
Yeah, caution was definitely what you should have avoided in that situation.
Exactly. Hesitation kills.
Yeah, hesitation kills. It's true. It's very true. Okay, well, I think that was a version of the events that happened last week. And I think we will begin, much where Casey stated, you all have been left alone by the Durgar Stone Guard who was harassing you, and you are standing on the docks of the Dark Lake. I'm gonna read a description of what this looks like just to get you back in the mood. Okay. A wave of heat slams against you as an acrid smog rises to choke the air out of your lungs. The Dark Lake spreads out beyond a jumble of buildings and streets, reflecting the lights of countless fires burning across the city within hollowed-out columns and stalagmites. Though the streets are crowded, you move easily within the surging throng of buyers, merchants, and slaves. You aren't the only outsiders here, as you spy drow, Svirfneblin, darrow, orcs, and other races in the crowds. The shouting of people blends with the sound of distant hammering to create a constant, distracting din. And that is where you find yourself. What would you like to be doing?
We had a plan. I'm trying to remember what that plan was.
I believe...
The darkness has sucked my brains out.
Your dear pal Hemeth told you that Golborn's lair over here is an inn. I think it's integral information to your plan, as I recall it.
DM, sir, do we notice anybody new in our party just yet? Just any extra people that we've pulled in along the way?
Someone did not appear out of mallet space. No, not
Okay.
just this moment. No.
Just making sure, like, all right, guys, let's go. Wait, who's that?
No, there is not just all of a sudden an extra person that has not been here the whole time. No. I do not believe his stealth is that good. So not an option. Not an option.
We've suddenly shifted into an alternate reality where I
Yeah.
the whole time.
Yeah, this is a Faerun like 386. Whereas you guys were on Faerun Prime before.
Inala. Hey, Inala.
Oh, how I've missed this.
Inala.
If you ever wish to get healed, Spyro, you will have to admit fault for what you did. Till then, your hands will remain fleshy and peely and disgusting.
Oh, I hadn't even thought of that. Can you heal these?
No,
Oh,
never mind.
pity. Inala. Wait, Inala. Hey, Inala.
Regretting
Am I
not
saying it
picking
wrong?
up.
It's
No.
Inala, right? Not the silent L's? Inaya?
How can somebody so small be so loud and annoying? What do you want?
You can like do the detecting of magics, yes? No?
I don't feel like it today.
Okay.
I'm just not in the mood. But normally,
Well,
yes. Why do you ask?
Well, I noticed that Drugar had an unusual interest in my sword. And it's the same that we acquired from the Drow Priestess. I was curious if it might have some magic powers. Are you sure you can't do anything about these hands? It seemed an odd thing for you to bring up for no reason.
Excuse me. Bupito sort of raises his hand from behind you guys talking. I might be able to figure out if that's magical. I'll have to take it. I'll have to take it back to my home, though. My book. I need my book in order to figure it out. But if I took it back with me and then had my book, and then I could inspect it and then bring it back.
The thing that just got taken away from us?
Well, I mean, I assume you were going to get it back somehow.
Yeah, he seemed pretty final on the taking it and housing it thing.
Oh well.
But
I guess that's off the table then.
that's good to know, Bupito. Thank you. What was that, Nevermore?
Didn't he take the gem? Not the
Yeah, he
sword?
didn't take the sword. You guys
Oh,
gave
he
him the
didn't.
gem, remember?
Oh.
Mhm.
Yeah, Neural gave that up.
Mm-hmm. I thought that was the case at first, but yes, that is accurate.
Yeah, it's
The
funny.
sword is still in his possession.
I bet we'll never see that gem again.
Are we on the stool network or the neural network?
No neural network because Neural's not here. So it's too
Not
late.
in range.
Also, actually, while we're sitting here talking, I'm going to move us to a map.
Yay!
You guys are represented by Stool, and this is where you have popped in at.
That's a bad sentence.
And this is what you have access to in Gracklstugh. This is the Dark Lake District. So Goldborn's Lair, which you've been told is an inn that caters to outsiders, is over here. The Bazaar, which is like the big market, is like right here. And then there's some other things you could find out about. But this is as you know it currently.
So, what was the plan, Nevermore? And apparently, Bupito can look at your sword if you'd like. I mean, I would assume coming from a Drow Priestess, it had some kind of magical tint to it.
Nevermore's plan was find a way not to be underground anymore.
That's a good plan.
Nailed it.
So in keeping with that plan, and Nala, you'd be aware, as would Sereth, that Gracklstugh doesn't trade with the surface. However, the deep gnomes do. And in order to go from Gracklstugh to deep gnomes, you need to get access to the rest of the city. Out here. Which you currently do not have. Outsiders are limited to the Dark Lake District, unless they've been given special permission by the Stone Guard or someone else of high status within Gracklstugh itself. They can give permission to go within the more Durgar-centric portions.
So we need to just pass through the city? That's...
Right, you need to go through here, and then the Durgar maintain all of the tunnels in and around Gracklstugh. So if you're going to get through, you're going to need to come into the bigger portion of the city, and then be allowed out.
Well, Hemith was no help, so we're going to need to find somebody of influence to get us out of here, or at least through here. We're going to get nowhere with the Dark Lake District. And I'll turn to Spiritcat and say, do you promise to be good and not touch things if we suggest that you don't? If the whole group doesn't decide that it's a good idea, will you keep your hands off?
Well, I suppose, yes.
Do we want me to take the sword and identify it?
I don't know why I clicked twice, but there you go.
Yeah, you are all better, Spiritcat. You are no longer slimed.
I can turn them back, just so you know. So if you're bad, they'll go right back instantly. Yeah.
I know it's unlikely, but do you know my mother? She used to tell me something very similar.
It's very unlikely.
All the more reason you should believe it.
Wait. Boopido, your house is in the Dark Lake District?
Oh no. In Westcliffe District, that's where the Darrow live. Well, some of them. They're like third-class citizens.
I mean, instead of taking the sword with you and then Spiritcat not having a way to defend himself, could you maybe get your book and then meet us? And then we can look at this?
He nods and says, I suppose. However, I don't think I've ever actually seen Spiritcat use the sword, to be honest. But I could. However, it might be a little bit more difficult getting out. The Durgar are fine with Darrow's returning to their positions beneath them, but they don't like it as much if they try to wander around on their own. You know. With the sword, I have reasonable cover as a courier or something of the sort. Without it, they might just tell me to get lost.
Sounds like you getting us anywhere isn't gonna work.
No. In fact, it would be better if I was not with you when you attempted to gain access to the rest of the city.
But you would have to go home to tell us what the sword possesses.
Correct. I need my book.
What kind of book do you have?
It's big and it's got things in it.
That's vague.
Things.
You know. And he wiggles his fingers and makes pew pew noises. Look, magic.
Nothing in there, and she wiggles her fingers back at him. Nothing in there to get you back here?
No, that's not really my area of expertise, I'm afraid.
So you're a wizard.
No, I don't prefer that. That's sort of a dirty term. I don't know about that. I'm a practitioner of magic, a student of the arcane.
Why is wizard a dirty word?
He shrugs and says, "Wizards are stuck up."
True. He is not going to deny that.
Well, I'm sure we all look quite awkward just standing here in a big group. Let's go make ourselves a little less at the inn. The lair, I assume? Jolbrun's?
Golbron's lair.
Golbrun's lair.
Mm-hmm. So is that the plan?
For lack of anywhere else to go.
Okay.
I personally would like to sleep in a bed once a month.
That sounds nice. Okay, so you guys head to Golbron's lair. Golbron's lair is you go inside it. It's kind of dingy and smells faintly of mildew, and the whole thing's made out of stone. But it is definitely an inn. There's no doubt about that. So you, as you head inside, a rather disheveled and old-looking Durgar from behind the counter sort of looks up at you and then grunts as you enter, and then goes back to what he was doing.
Yaha.
You see a few different people in here. There are a few Durgar, some Darrow, some deep gnomes, and sitting there is also a half-orc. Specifically, Mr. Murren.
So I see them wander in.
You do see them all wander in, motley crew that they are.
Yeah, Nevermore has his. He usually wears his wings around his shoulders, kind of like gargoyles. But kind of like looks at Murin, just looks. He's like, it like shuts his eyes real tight, and then opens them up again. He's like, "You're still here."
Yeah, Murren kind of has a similar moment where he doesn't quite believe what he's seeing, because last time he saw last he knew, Nevermore was being dragged off to the Underdark and as a captive. But it only takes him a moment to shake that off and run up excitedly and hug him.
It's you.
Probably with a little too strongly.
Wings, air.
Sorry.
What? Like, Nevermore literally has not had a bath in about a month, so he's rather gross, and he's usually not. And
Yeah.
just
It doesn't seem to bother Murren much. It reminds him of his old orc tribe. So
Are you doing an extra sniff when you do the hug then? Like uncomfortable.
Sure.
Because I bet you charging at Nevermore has probably got Anala like, is stuff going down? What's going on? No one said anything.
Are we fighting?
Yeah. But by the way, it's an enormous, like, he's a pretty young half orc, but he's very large with like a necklace of bear teeth, and he has a maul and a great axe and a halberd and several javelins. Like, he's just bristling with weapons, and so it probably was kind of alarming when he went charging in, but then just hugged him for a while. Brother, what happened?
he said, "Why are you here? You got away. You were supposed to get away."
Wait. Brother?
Shh, they're having a moment. Just shh.
What?
The half orc, just shh.
but
And she'll just put her hand over his mouth again and just, oh, go ahead, guys, go ahead.
Do you remember the last time you were interrupting an orc? I remember you threw a goal at his head. It ended badly if we weren't here.
Spirit Cat holds up a gold coin.
Did get away, but then Nevermore, our brother didn't come to the meeting place, so Murren followed. Got lost, found a city to try and pick up the trail.
Like, there's a moment where Nevermore almost looked like he's gonna explode, but then he just kind of, and then just kind of like tilts forward and like leans against the huge guy's chest, like, I'm just glad you're okay.
And Nala just and peels her hands off of Spirit Cat's mouth.
Oh, great.
Friend?
Friends, Gella. Companions. This is my little brother, and he pats him on the shoulder. Murin.
She looks up and then down toward, like, and Nevermore, I think you're, like, how tall are you comparatively to Murin?
How tall is Murin?
Like, big.
Let me check
Big.
here. 6'4".
Yeah, Nevermore's not that big.
Little, yes. Nice to meet you. What the hell are you doing?
Murren seems to notice everyone else for the first time right now.
There's a whole crew.
Yeah, your
Yes.
eyes probably pass from one to the other. It's a weird bunch.
Hello, I'm Spirit Cat. You may have heard of me. From about ankle level.
You very small.
Yeah, you have heard of me. Excellent.
Murren just kind of looks at him confused.
Small of stature, not of personality. Otis, by the way.
Says the giant turtle.
I guess Murren will just look to Nevermore and ask, friends?
Yes. They're all friends.
And then he'll nod. That's all he needs. Yeah.
What? And she'll turn to Nevermore and say, I thought you were captured alone. Was he captured as well? I don't recall seeing. I think I would have remembered seeing him around.
No, when they came after us, we split up. Like, I flew off one way, but they were able to get me out of the air. Most of them followed me. They didn't bring him back, so he got away, right? And I looked up at Murin again.
Yeah.
Should have stayed that way.
Murren get away, but then when Nevermore didn't come back, he followed.
Like I said, I'm just glad you're all right.
Murren too.
When the drow took me down here, I ended up with these fine fellows. And working together, we were able to get away. But we don't know how to get back to the surface.
How long have you been down here, Murin?
How long has it been since Nevermore was captured?
Like 2 weeks? No, more than that at this point. He was captured like 2 weeks before the start of the game, and it has been... One moment.
It was 10 days before we started.
One
Maybe plus whatever time it took for them to get to.
moment. Okay, so it's been like a month and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
Many weeks. Got lost when got underground. lost the trail.
Well, it seems like you found a good inn. Have you been in this city long?
Have I been in this city long?
Sorry.
We'll say that you've been in Gracklstugh for like 3 or 4 days.
Okay.
It's not a super long time, but a decent.
Okay, yeah. A few days. Trying to pick up trail of drow prison camps. Lots of them around.
Well, luckily you won't have to head there anymore. Unless there were more in your group that were captured. And she's like looking at both of you.
No, just brother.
Oh,
Adorable Nevermore. You didn't tell us you had family.
I have a lot of family, actually. Maybe we should get a room or 12 and Bath, maybe? Bath would be amazing. He literally has tools in his hair. Like, he wants to, like, be clean.
When you mentioned that, Murn just digs into his pack and hands you a thing of soap.
Everyone's just like, oh, I haven't seen this in ages. And he's gonna go off and see if he can get a room.
Sure.
Or, like, do you have a room that I could borrow?
Yeah, I mean, I assume Murn has a room here, so.
Sure.
He'll inquire if baths are a thing.
Baths are indeed a thing. The proximity to the Dark Lake and access to all the heat from the forges makes hot water actually not that hard to come by in Gracklstugh.
Amazing.
Looking around the inn, is there anybody that's like notably dressed better than anybody else, or cleaner, hairbrushed, hair at all?
Noticeably dressed better. There is a deep gnome who's sitting there. Who he seems dressed very, very functionally, very pragmatically, but everything he's got is nice and clean, and it looks like he cares for it very well. So he's very put together. He's not like dressed fancily or anything, but he looks pretty put together. I guess that would be the closest to what you're looking for. No one looks really rich, though.
Is he sitting with anybody else?
No, he's sitting by himself. He's reading a book. He's got a bag next to him.
Yeah, I'll go up to the bar, and as we're all like ordering our rooms and whatnot, I'll order a try and anonymously send a whatever he's drinking. Like, be like, order him another one, but shh.
The Durgar looks up at you and then just gives you a look like, I don't give a fuck, and just shrugs and pours another ale and walks over and sets it down on the table. The deep gnome looks up and gives him like a, what was that for look? And the Durgar just shrugs and doesn't say anything and just walks away.
Hey, good job, thank you.
He grunts but says nothing. And that will be 3 copper for an ale. Jimjar is currently like organizing the NPCs and sort of getting them all together and planning rooms for everyone, and like collecting money to go up and pay for rooms for them.
And now I'm fairly certain you just did that wrong.
Shh. What?
When you buy someone a drink, you're supposed to like let them see you do it. That's how it works.
I'm being just shh.
But you.
God, don't you have a whisper setting? I'm just trying to keep an eye out for someone.
I can whisper if you're willing to bend all the way down here. Otherwise, I have to cover 3 feet.
Fine, here. And she'll pick him up underneath his armpits and plop him on the stool next to her.
I mean, sure. I mean, that's an option. I mean, the like telepathy is also an option, but sure.
But then I just
Going
look
out
like
on
a
the
crazy
stool.
person muttering to my... well, not muttering. Just thinking really hard.
True.
The bartender already seems disgruntled with me in general. I don't want to look like I'm taking a poop on his stool.
He just looks disgruntled in general. That's like seems to be his default state. What is everyone else doing?
Bathing.
Bathing.
Yeah, I'd be working with Jim Jar to coordinate getting rooms for everybody, because I imagine that's a nightmare.
It's not easy. Yeah. But,
How many are we total again?
well, there are 5 of you, plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 7, because Bubido doesn't count, because he has his own place. So 12. 12.
A lot of people.
It is indeed a lot of people.
They've all been kept alive.
So far.
So far.
So far. We'll see how long that lasts. As you, Bupido again approaches Inala and Spearcat and says, if you want me to do that, I should rather do it soon. It is getting a little bit late, and the Stoneguard don't like it when Darrow try to leave Lodiger's Furrow after evening time.
Just give him your sword, Spearcat. It's fine. I'm sure he'll come back. If not, we'll come hunt him down or something. I'm sure.
I'm more worried about the Darrow attacking him and taking the sword.
I'm wily enough. I can hide it.
No. Well then, here's the sword. Oh, and this as well. And he takes out the fancy dagger from the priestess.
Oh, excellent. I will inspect these and return.
Can I, does Bupido seem genuine when he says, "and return"?
Sure, give me an insight check.
Because there was some cracking there, and I wasn't sure if that was Sean or Bupido. You said insight?
Insight, yeah. Doesn't seem like he's gonna come back. Doesn't really seem that way. Kinda seems like he's just gonna take him.
You sounded a bit, unsure there, Bupido.
He says, "Well, I'm just concerned. There's a chance it might have to wait till tomorrow. Sometimes the Stone Guard like to plant down on the Westcliff district. The life of a third-class citizen can be difficult."
So, just for good faith, how about you give us something of worth to you, as well as, your general hovel address thing. Whereabouts we might find you, should we be able to.
Sure. I don't have much in the way of possessions. You can take the weapons I've been given, I suppose. This is... they don't really have addresses, but it's in the West Cleft district. It's in the fifth set of houses in.
Give me your shoes.
Okay, that feels a little bit weird.
Yeah, but it might be uncomfortable if you don't have them for very long, so I figure this will ensure that you come back.
You can just wait for him to bring the book back. If you're not sure.
Well, I thought he said he wouldn't be able to bring the book back without the sword.
I said it would be easy. It would be much easier if I appeared to be a courier or something of that sort.
Oh, well, you just want something to carry? Not a problem. And you can have this, and here you go, and one of these, and bag of caltrops, and big bag of pebbles. Here you go.
Pebbles, super important to transport.
What did you give him?
Let's see here. From the sheet, it would be 2 bags of 1,000 ball bearings and a bag of caltrops. So just
Sure.
bags full of jingly things.
All right. He nods and says, "This should be good enough. I would like to keep my shoes though. That it's
Oh yeah, if you're not taking the sword or the dagger, that's fine. You can have your shoes back.
Okay. I mean, I never took them off, but yes, thank you.
You can keep
No,
the shoes on.
Okay. I will return. If not tonight, then at latest tomorrow." And he hefts the 2 bags of ball bearings and the bag of caltrops and leaves.
Did he write down his address? Shit.
No. You cut him off before he could give it to you, and then he just left.
I was really interested in his shoes. Well, I hope you weren't attached to those things, because he didn't sound too sincere, but it's garbage, so I'm sure he'll be back.
Okay. It is, it's not super late in the evening, but it's like late afternoon. After sort of purchasing rooms and all of that, basically it's going to be, because of there are so many of you, it'll work out to 1 gold a person to get a room here for the evening. So grand total of 12 gold.
Do we have dollars?
Well, as a member of the 1%, often your assets are not liquid, so you might need to liquidate some things before you're able to. You're cash poor, but asset rich,
We're assuming that we had, like, whatever starting equipment, because we got it back when we broke out of there, right?
Correct.
Everything except for the gold. Okay.
And the flute.
And the flute and Spiroquette's Uzi Madoddle.
My music box. They took my music box.
They took his music box, yeah.
We have also, I think, still been carting around 6 chain shirts, 3 studded, 5 shields, 2 hand crossbows, 17 crossbow bolts, 3 short swords, 10 daggers, 2 caltrops, 200 feet of silken rope, 100 feet of hemp rope, 2 building hammers, 2 bags of iron spikes, 10 rations, 5 torches, and, odds and ends.
Partridge in a pear tree. Can
Five
we, like,
gold rings.
Can we just make the cha-ching sound and change that up? Or do you want to...
no,
in
we will
keep,
have
you want these things? No?
You will have to go out and into the Blade Bazaar and sell them.
Can anybody spot me 3 copper? I'm stuck here.
I'm sorry, Inkeep, did you say Blade Bazaar?
Yeah, that's what the market's called.
Well, I can't say that I want to be anywhere else right now.
You literally have 2 blades that you haven't identified yet, Spiroquette. When is enough enough?
He looks down at the 17 daggers he's wearing. 3 more. Just 3. An even score. Plus 2. A score and 2. 2 and a score. Maybe 1 in the boot.
A baker's score.
A
Baker's.
So, are people going out into the Blade Bazaar to sell things?
Is it too late? Like, what time
No,
do they
not
close?
at this point. It's towards the evening, but it is not late. It is not closing time.
Yeah, I don't know how else we'd pay for rooms unless we grabbed gold from something else and somebody's, like, holding on to the group's loots.
Honestly, we don't have the people to wear this stuff, so we might as well sell it.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
those who were going to take stuff have already taken it. So, like, Eldith and Sarah. And Jim Jar.
Yeah, I guess somewhere in the whole, can we get rooms? And they're like, yeah, you sure can. That's burning our gold. We're like, okay, hold on.
Hold on. We have
BRB.
these satchels that need to be empty.
To the Blade Bazaar, Spiroquette.
All right.
You stay right next to Otis.
Oh.
Hold his hand, or just stay near him in general.
Who all is going to the Blade Bazaar?
Don't split the party.
Nevermore feels much better after his bath has changed
Okay.
into slightly less gross clothes, but they're probably all kind of gross at the moment.
Yeah, it was
But
Yeah. If Nevermore's going, then Murren's going. So
excellent. So, you guys head out into the Blade Bazaar. It is, as you sort of exit and head into the bazaar proper, you're overcome by merchants and stalls hawking their wares, the din of people arguing, mostly in Dwarvish, and crowds of various different Underdark races milling about all around. But you're looking for someplace to purchase you're probably selling the weapons and armor you don't need. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. You come upon a stall that doesn't have like a bunch of people in front of it and seems to buy and sell those sorts of items. And as you walk up, the merchant behind the stall says, welcome to Loinarv's Arms and Wares. Please, what do you need? Do you have something to sell? Perhaps you need something to buy.
Well, we would like to supply you.
Ah, excellent. Come, show me.
Well, and then I'll take one of the chain shirts that has been provided and bring that out onto the table countertop.
Ah.
Many
And-
items of similar make.
And he picks it up and he pulls out one of those little like jeweler's eyepieces things, and he like sticks his he holds it up in front of him and he looks at it and he says, "Drow make, I see. Very interesting." And then he puts it in his mouth and he bites it. He says, "Good workmanship, I suppose, for an elf." What do you think? And he holds it out to his side and then just drops it. And then he waits for a second, and then he nods and says, I agree. It does seem to be worth buying. I'll take them. How many do you have?
Well, I have many. What do we? Somebody hold it. Does somebody have the bag? Does somebody have the bag? One, two, 6.
6. Excellent. I'll take all of them.
Yes. In exchange for.
In exchange for fair market value.
In exchange for book. Swipe.
I can also look it up, but is he actually trying to give fair market value?
Correct.
Oh,
Okay.
holy shit! Really?
Yeah, well,
a
half.
chain shirt,
Half.
a chain shirt is 50 gold, so times 6 divided by 2 would be 150 for the chain shirts.
Correct. Yeah, he's giving you fair price. I mean, it's used, so it's half price, but still fair price.
Awesome. Well, yes, of course. Can I ask how you ascertain the quality of such just by dropping it?
He gives you a puzzled look, and he says, I didn't. I gave it to my brother. Ryle.
Yes. Your brother. Is he
Yeah.
off his rocker?
Give me an insight check. I mean, Durgar do turn invisible a lot.
Maybe he's just got a slacker brother. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really makes sense.
I'll lean across the counter. Is it like Spirit Cat sized?
No. I mean, the counter is like made for Durgar, so like he stands about. He's like it's like a little less than chest height for him. So if there was a brother, he'd be very small, and there is no one there that you can see. Could be invisible though. And he says, "Now, anything else? I suppose those drow you killed probably had weapons on them, didn't they?" And he winks at you.
Is everybody with us? Like, did the whole gang come?
The NPCs I assume stayed behind are setting up.
Okay.
But you guys went out because no one said they were not.
Well, yes. If you can take the wares, as far as you said armor, so I assume that. But yeah, and then we'll try to shell out the studded leather and the hand crossbows.
Okay, so we're gonna fast track this a little bit. Basically, every single time it goes the same. You bring one out for him to look at it. He examines it closely, hands it to his brother to inspect. He just drops it to the ground. He waits for a second as if listening to someone, and then nods and says he'll take it for every single item.
Perfect.
So it hits the ground. It's not.
Oh
like...
yeah, it hits the ground. No one is catching it. It's not being handled by an invisible creature. It doesn't disappear into the ether. It just drops to the ground.
And are we selling everything on the party loot list?
I mean, I'm thinking
Yep.
keep rope guys and keep like the miscellaneous stuff.
So
Okay,
you're
so
selling.
good to have.
Just the weapons and armor selling.
I feel good about that.
Oh, well, I
Okay.
mean, we can offer... I think we would have offered Murin once he was accepted into the clan. Do you want some of the stuff? We've got
Murin's-
stuff.
Murin's good on weapons. I'm just doing the math for how much that'll be. So I just wanted to make sure I was adding the right things.
Your brother's very smart, good at math. Look at him calculating that on the go.
I'm doing the math. Murin is not.
As like the 2 bags of caltrops go by, Spirit cat. Oh, he already returned them. Yoot.
Oh, are those the 2 bags of caltrops you gave him?
No, there's actually another 2 bags.
Oh, okay. All right. Just to make sure.
4 total bags of caltrops. Spirit cat will retrieve the 2 bags of caltrops. I'll carry those for now.
The only thing I can't find is how much ammunition is for the crossbows.
Give me a second. Let me inspect my big book of how much things are worth.
Is the book blue?
No.
It's not a blue book. That's disappointing.
Aw.
Uh, 1 gold for 20 bolts.
Okay, so that and 20 bolts is a case. You have 16
Correct.
cases there, so it'd be 8 gold for all of them.
Correct, sir.
Okay, so all of the armor and weapons, that's 349 gold and 5 silver total.
Holy shit.
You guys are so rich, you could buy like a quarter of a piece of set of plate mail.
The leg pieces.
Yeah, you can buy legs. But not boots, just legs.
Just legs.
Okay, so as you guys are finishing up with Loinarv, and he hands over the money and happily accepts it, a thing is going to happen.
Oh dear.
I'm sure it's fine. Don't worry about it. So,
Always believe a DM when he says don't worry about it.
the rhythmic hammering, you guys finish up with Loinarv, and as you're turning around, the rhythmic hammering of the city's forges is drowned for a second by a thundering roar and the sound of crumbling rock. Durgar and visitors alike turn to look as a 2-headed, gray-skinned giant bursts through a gate, howling madly and lashing out left and right, littering the plaza with rock and stone debris. As he bellows, one of his swings connects with a Durgar soldier whose broken body flies through the air and crashes near you with a sickening crunch. And we are going to move to a map real fast. And I need you all to roll me initiative, please.
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
Is Karma in play? Is this the guard that was being an ass?
No.
Darn.
Karma is not in play.
Do we see that guard anywhere around here?
You
No, you
failed
don't.
me, Karma. You failed me.
Durgar. Okay. They rolled really well. So, and descending. And Nala, you get to go first. What, if anything, are you going to do about this?
Yeah, I mean, okay. So it's right next to us. Jesus.
Yeah, you guys, the Blue Bazaar is right next to some entrances to the southern part of the city.
So looking around at the other guards, do they all seem like, oh shit, how did that happen? Or, oh, another day, another giant?
That would be an insight check to determine that.
And that would be my action, I assume.
I'd allow you to do it quickly just to get like a general idea. You're not going to get super specific information, but you might get like a feeling. That's not an action. They seem surprised.
Okay, cool.
That's what
So I'll just whisper, okay, well, 1, it's probably going to kill us, but 2, this might be our chance at, redemption and looking good and getting elsewhere. So,
Kill the thing?
yeah, I'm going to say kill the thing. And I will, well, I don't know if this will work, but it's worth a chance. And then Constitution saving throw.
Constitution saving throw. DC?
13.
Actually, first you need to make a ranged spell attack to see if it hits.
I'll just do this in place of that, if that's okay.
That's fine. So that'll hit. So yeah, actually, it only makes the con save at the end of its turn. So it's affected for at least this turn that's coming up, and then it makes a save.
Yay!
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll point at the thing that everybody is already obviously staring at.
Okay. Spirit Cat.
Yaha!
Excellent. The noise returns.
It's a multi-purpose noise.
So, attack, yes? Okay. Nah.
And he throws a dagger at it. And it misses.
No, that ain't gonna hit.
He throws another dagger at it.
That'll hit. Look at all that damage.
And he does 4 points of damage, and he distracts it,
Oh god!
doing 4 more points of damage for a total of 8. And the next person to attack that's not him has advantage.
Aha, look over here! Hey, hey! Whoa!
Oh my
This stone
god.
giant is being.
Just weaponizing your annoyingness.
Luckily, he's behind giant Murin.
Yep.
And then Spirit Cat bravely dives back behind here.
So brave. This one's being done. Give me a second. There we go. Now it's actually working. Is that the entirety of your turn?
That is the entirety of the turn.
Excellent. So now it is Nevermore's turn.
Okay, so how tall are these things? I'm not sure. Stone giant.
Stone giants are. This guy is about 14 feet tall.
Okay. What he's going to try to do, I don't know if it's something that can happen in one turn, but try to fly up and land on top of him, and he still has that thigh bone that he used as a dagger, and just try to take out an eye. Fly up behind him and just try to I guess grapple his head and stab him in the eye.
Okay. Sure, you can do that, but you're gonna need to grapple him this turn and then stab him next turn.
Okay.
But I will
works.
allow that. If you manage to grapple him. Yes, I will allow that.
So fly up in this general area. And that's just a general attack roll, right?
Athletics for grapple.
Athletics.
Is that an attack which you have advantage?
You can replace a grapple check with an attack. So I'm going to say yeah, it counts. I will allow it.
Okay, so
So the
23?
23 then.
So 23, and it fails. It does not pass that. So you
23?
No, it fails. The stone giant
Oh,
fails. It does not throw you off.
So he's kind of
so- So you managed to wrap around his head, but that's your turn.
yes. Okay.
Okay, Otis.
So in that week-long
Wait,
trek
actually,
across,
one quick thing.
Uh-huh.
Could he wrap his wings around his head?
He's got 2 heads.
2?
Yes, That was the description that was read as he
Okay.
rampaged through the wall. He has 2 heads. So I'm going to say you can wrap around one, but not both. His heads are large.
So he'll wrap around one, and then maybe try to stab at the other one next round. So wrap around, just kind of
Okay.
like encompass a head.
Okay. Otis.
So, in the 7 days of traveling across the sea and talking with the Druger, whose name, for the love of God, I cannot remember right now.
Hemeth, your dear best friend Hemeth.
Where we talked at length about Druger culture rules. Did stone giants in Druger society ever come up?
Yes. The stone giants live peacefully within the Durgar city. They actually maintain a rather special place where they're sort of outside the normal hierarchical functions of Durgar society because the stone giants provide valuable like cave maintenance to the Durgar that they can't really perform themselves, but the stone giants have like a connection with stone that they can use. So they have like their own enclave and their own special society sort of within Gracklstugh. They don't normally do this, from what Hemeth mentioned. This seems weird.
And 2 heads is normal too?
No, not at all. No, I mean he didn't specifically mention that they didn't have 2 heads.
Well,
But
he didn't mention that they did. So.
exactly, that seems like kind of weird. So, and just I know it's been a while. You did recently encounter a boy with 2 heads. I'm gonna pop it back up there just in case anyone forgot.
Yeah, and the fish
Just-
with 2 heads too.
And there was a fish with 2 heads. Yes, there was.
Damn
Yep.
Simpsons fish.
Yeah. So use that. Make of that what you will. It's been a while, so I'm poking that.
All right, so I'm gonna run up to it, and then before I get
What strategy,
really
Cotton?
angry, I'm gonna say, "Just knock it out! Don't kill it! They're supposed to be important!" And then I'll go into a rage. That's
Mhm.
clearly going to make it so that I can, not
Okay, good.
mutilate this thing.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
then I'm gonna draw. You'll notice about Otis, he doesn't have his shield on anymore, and he's using a quarterstaff
Mhm.
instead of
Mhm.
it's battle axe.
I see.
It's not gonna do
I
it.
don't suppose you were reckless attacking, were you?
I did forget to say it, and also that's a stone giant. But I did
Yeah.
rage. Like I feel like I should have, but I definitely forgot.
Okay, that's fair. All right, now we will know next time. Reckless attack. Anything else?
No, that's all of my goodies.
Okay. Stone Giant is very displeased that there's a person on his head. He really sort of just doesn't like it, just in general. So he's going to try to make an athletics check to try to grab a hold of Nevermore. So I need an athletics check from you, Nevermore. Oh, that is unfortunately not going to be enough.
Ooh.
Wow.
He's going to pluck you off of his head, and then the other fist is going to come up for punching.
Ooh.
That is going to hit.
Is that attack with
Or-
strength?
It is, so it will do half damage, which is good because it was going to do a lot. So that is only 6 points of damage as it punches you. However, you are no longer grappling its head; it is grappling you,
Okay.
and it's sort of holding you out in front of it angrily. Murrin.
Seeing my brother get hit, I would like to rage.
Okay, that's fair. Yep.
And then he will run up and swing his maul reckless attack.
All right. That's how you do it, Kyle. You see that?
Yeah.
Luckily for you, a 16 seems to hit. So,
Yeah. Okay.
it is 15 points of damage.
15 damage. Yep. And that is my turn.
Okay. The Durgar. The Durgar by the door is dead, but there is a contingent of Stone Guard nearby, and they are going to spring into action. So this guy's going to run to here. Actually, he's just going to double move to get into here. This guy's going to double move to get into here. These guys are going to single move, and then you guys are going to see these two in the back they're they don't have any weapons in their hands, but they're going to sort of conjure spears of flame sort of out of nowhere and huck them at the stone giants. And both will hit for some damage. And Nala.
Did it, I know I can't see the rolls. Did it do the con save? Did it pass it?
Oh, yes, it did pass the con save. Thank you for reminding me.
Okay, well, I feel brain lightened now, so I'm gonna go do something else and be like,
Brain lightened.
It's just, my mind is just so much clearer, but now it's taken up again by dazzling lights and
Enlightenment.
trying to distract the two heads and light it up.
Dex save.
And if it fails, any attack roll against the creature has advantage.
Would you believe me if I said it was actually quite dexterous?
I
what is
would
the DC?
not.
It actually is. Surprisingly, it is. I'm not making that up. What
Is
was
it
the DC?
13's worth of dexterous?
It is just barely not 13's worth of dexterous. So that goes off and succeeds.
All the advantages.
So this means it's fairy fired. We'll say for now.
No longer have to reckless.
No longer after reckless. That's very true. Spirit Cat.
Rushes forward, leaps up from the tabletop, fires a hand crossbow.
10 is not going to... Oh, no, you have advantage.
I have advantage. 25.
Yeah, it's any attack roll. Yeah, that'll hit.
And
All right.
then he will follow up with a disarming attack.
Okay, he doesn't have a weapon. He just has hands.
He has a tiefling that I'd like him to put down.
Ah, okay. All right. I will accept
Gently,
that.
gently.
Gently.
Okay.
DC 12 strength save, but
Would you believe me if I said he was very strong?
I possibly would believe yes.
He holds on to Nevermore like his life depends on it.
Okay. However, I think he does take double the damage because that is a crit.
I believe so.
So-
Yeah, I believe that is accurate. Yeah.
21 there. And then I will follow up with the offhand dagger thrown as I descend. 15?
15's not going to do it.
Not going to do it. That's okay. I did my job.
You did your job. Nevermore. You are being held out at arm's length by a giant.
Okay, so he is still holding that bone, the thigh bone dagger that he had.
Mhm.
And he's going to try to jam it into like the soft undersides of this thing's wrist to hopefully get it to let go.
Okay.
24
Ooh, 24. Okay. All right. Yeah. Roll me some damage.
plus humanoids.
He's not a humanoid. He's a giant.
But he's shaped like a human.
That's not how it works.
Plus damage to humanoid shapes.
Just things that are generally human shapes, you know? Okay, but he does take 6 damage, and I'm going to say that is enough to make him let go.
Okay.
So you are released from his clutches.
Fly. Hopefully. Probably. Maybe. That would probably cause an attack of opportunity. I think he's just gonna land.
Okay. Otis.
Also,
No.
real quick.
Oh,
bonus
you
action.
got the land here.
Yeah, bonus action
action.
Hunter's Mark because I have spells now, and I have to remember
Okay.
that.
Okay. Otis.
Nevermore got done. Okay, guys, don't remember we're not supposed to murder it. As I'm slamming a quarterstaff into the stone giant, I am trying to do non-lethal in case this thing goes out.
Okay, that'll hit.
Did the dwarves look like they were trying to kill it?
They didn't look like they were holding back. I mean, they threw fire at it.
True. They're trying to kill it.
Non-lethal fire.
Yeah, it was just a gentle caress of fire.
And that'll be +2 for rage. Sorry, now I have the
okay.
ticket on. Ooh, hi crit.
Math. 12. Give me. I can do math. Whatever, tell me I can't do. Okay. Anything else?
That will be. Yeah, I don't feel like moving and taunting it, so yeah, we're good.
Okay. Mr. Stone Giant's turn. The two boys to his right have been very mean to him, and he does not like it. So you are each getting a punch.
Okay.
So one at you, Mern, is going to have advantage, unfortunately.
Yep.
And
Bring
the
it.
one at you, Otis, is going to be normal. That is 2 hits. So each of you, Murren, you're going to take 12 points of damage.
Halved because I'm raging.
Have because you're raging, yep. That is not prehab, so have it now.
Okay,
and then,
that's what I was checking. Yep.
Yeah, and then Otis, you're going to take 14. That is not halved, so points of damage as he punches each of you and just roars in wild anger. Murren.
No, seriously, don't kill it.
Murren will roar back and hit it with them all again.
Seems reasonable. 16 will hit again. You really like just squeaking in under that wire.
Yeah. I did notice that the 15 missed.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. Durgar's turn. The Durgar are going to... The two in the back are going to continue to throw fire at it, because that's what they do. Only one hits, the other one sort of bounces off his stony pectoral muscles, and then the two in front are going to swing these war picks they've got at him. And one's going to make a decent connection for some damage, but they do not fell it. Inala.
How is he looking? Is he looking pretty bad?
Not great. Not great.
Well, I'm not going over there. Screw it. It doesn't do that much anyway. Bells.
Okay.
Are stone giants very wise?
They're not. They're actually. Hey, Sin.
Yes.
You know how you were like, it doesn't do that much damage?
Oh, come on! You said not great!
I mean, he's not looking great. I mean, you can see his red health bar just as well as I can.
Yeah, but that... okay, 8 points is... yeah, he's staggering. Come on. That's not fair. I just...
You know what? It would have probably...
Then you kill him!
Sean,
Okay,
is this
fine,
a young
then.
stone giant? Would you
It's
consider
not a young stone giant, but I mean, luckily for you.
Okay, fine, then. If he's going down, then I will bonus action.
Yeah, you could do that. Yeah, like, you're all right. You can stop him from dying. It's like, it's not the end of the world.
Sorry, Thomas, I don't mean to steal your thing, but...
What?
It's just like...
Get to kill a thing and then be like, whoops!
Oh. And you did it. You did it in a much better fashion. It didn't waste 300 gold this time. So.
I would laugh, but I mean, I've totally done that. Except Casey didn't let me put the guy's guts back in, and I feel it was very mean.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that did happen.
Hey, sometimes you get a little overexcited, okay? That's all I'm saying. I didn't mean to. It's just sometimes you accidentally
Totally
get a
fine.
man.
I mean, I'm trying to judge
Okay.
the giant's health behind a giant tortoise and a half-orc, and he looks okay. I don't know, it's fine. Whoops.
You saw the good head. You missed the bad head.
Yeah, one head's just like bleeding out, and the other one's fine. But,
Okay, so you guys put the stone giant falls to the ground. As it falls down, more Durgar come pouring through the gate. It looks like they were like on their way, and you guys just happened to kill it right before they showed up. And behind them,
they were totally waiting on the other side of the gate for us to fell it, and then they were coming the whole time.
They're like, I don't want to go out there. Neither do I. All right, we'll wait. If they kill it, then we'll rush out there like we were on our way. They rush in and sort of start. They come in. They start like pushing civilians back. And as they are doing that, another stone giant shows up. This one singularly headed, and not screaming in rage and slamming things. And he comes in, and he looks down sadly at the stone giant there, and then looks up at you all, who clearly have been helping, and he says, "Thank you. I appreciate you not killing him, though I don't know how much good it will do."
What language does he say it in?
Common.
Like common? Common,
yeah.
Well said.
And he
A
nods.
voice says from behind a building.
Yeah, from way in the back. And he says, "I am Dorhoon. I am the apprentice of Stone Speaker Hagram. I believe he would like to reward you for your kindness."
George just looks around and he's like, whoa,
Yeah, you just said a lot of things I'm not sure about, but sure. Reward, I know that word. Yes.
He nods and says, "Here," and he pulls it. He's got like a rudimentary sort of leather tunic thing going on, and out of one of the pockets, he pulls a little pouch, little to him, normal size to you guys, and plucks it out and hands it to one of you who is next to the downstone giant, and says, "Here, these should allow you back through the gates at least to Cairngorm Cavern. It is our home." And inside there, you would find several little amulets, all with a like bluish, whitish, purplish stone set in them, all pretty much the same. This is probably something important to the stone giants, you would gather. He says, "I must bring back Reboot, see if there is anything we can do for him."
What, if you don't mind me asking, and thank you for this, by the way, she'll point at whoever took the pouch. Why did he go crazy? Do you know what happened to him?
He, Dorhoon frowns and says he was communing with the stone. He started screaming and flailing, and he spouted this, and he indicates to the sort of malformed, but still there, second head, and he ran out.
Communing with the stone?
He's like, so that just happened. He wasn't always, and he just sort of gestures to two heads.
He nods. He says he was as normal as I was not 10 minutes ago.
What stone was he communing with?
And he looks down at you and he says, "We have several in our in the caverns. We use them to worship. It is a place of spiritual healing and guidance."
Your stone speaker, your leader?
Yes.
And Nevermore kind of looks at the others. Is like, we should probably tell them what we saw.
Well, are we? What are the Drugar guards doing around us? Are they like just listening into this conversation?
A lot of them are sort of like talking to civilians, making sure no one else is hurt. trying to clear out some of the rubble. However, the ones who fought with you are waiting almost expectantly for you to be done this conversation.
For us to be done?
Mm-hmm.
Because they want to clear the street, probably.
So we're getting the just to understand, the stone speaker was this guy, like he was communing with the stone and then just went whoop, whoop.
No, this guy is just a stone giant.
Oh.
The guy who went crazy and attacked you.
Okay,
Dorhoon, who's the stone giant you've been speaking with, is an apprentice of stone speaker Hagram, who is the guy.
Gotcha. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the things he gave us allow us to move.
They
So
allow you to
where-
leave the Dark Lake District and head toward Cairngorm Cavern, which is the stone giant's home.
And
However,
he wanted us. He gave those to us because he wanted us to follow and speak with the stone speaker, or
not in this moment, but he said you should visit because stone speaker Hagram would probably want to reward you and speak with you for not killing Reboot.
I just wanted to be clear that the talismans themselves weren't the reward.
Correct, they are not.
Okay.
Because they're not going to allow you full unfettered access to the southern half of the city. Basically, you can go to the Cairngorm Cavern and come back, and that's it.
Are these would we know if these amulets are kind of like a "don't fuck with me, I've got a ticket to see the boss" kind of thing? So if the guards tried to start something with us again, and we're like, amulet, is that kind of?
You wouldn't really know that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We have some loose ends to kind of tie up here, and she'll kind of side eye to the Drugars that are just standing there watching us, waiting for us to finish up our conversation. But we will absolutely come to speak to Hagram. Thank you for the invitation.
Nods and says it's probably best if you wait till tomorrow anyway.
We will be there tomorrow, definitely. She's just trying to, solidify that if we're not there, something's wrong, and these guards are, fucking with us again.
He nods, and hefting Reboot's body, he turns to leave, unless one of you is going to call after him and try to say something. Okay, excellent. He leaves. And after he leaves, the Durgar, who are waiting oh so patiently, are going to come up to you all, and one of them is going to step forward, and he's going to say, "If you don't mind, we would appreciate it if you would accompany us to Overlake Hold."
Where?
What's that now?
What? Where now?
To Overlake Hold.
All of us at the same time.
What is this place for?
It's the main barracks of the Stone Guard within the Dark Lake District.
Why?
Because our captain wishes to speak with you.
Are we in some sort of trouble?
He says, "Not if you come with us peacefully and quietly."
I mean,
Murren's just waiting to take his cue from Nevermore.
What was the name of our almost serious problem, Doc Druger, that Super wanted to bribe?
Oh, his name was Gorglak.
Did we know that?
Yeah, I guess that's another question. Do we actually know
I
that?
don't remember if it was.
I don't think he ever gave you a name, no.
I remember
none of these
Gorblack.
Oh, you do? Okay, then he must have said it. I didn't think he did, but if you remember it, then I will say he did. It's been a while. None of these Durgar look like Gorglak.
I think we tried every nice way to get out of that situation, and
You did, yes.
super didn't go
It
well.
it didn't go well. Just didn't go well.
Did I have to bribe anyone coming into the city?
No.
Out of curiosity? Okay.
Nope.
Otis. Hey, Otis. Give me an amulet. Otis, give me one of the amulets. Well, there
What?
it is. Amulet. Goes with my outfit.
But it's gonna, crush you in half. It's so heavy. And of course it goes with your outlet, so you must have it. And I'll hand out the rest of them to the... Oh, might as well get it done now. So who wants to go visit Druger who aren't trying to take everything we own?
We don't need any more trouble. We should at least go talk to him.
Yeah, I would definitely put on the amulet as we're going, though. Just to be clear. These guys are okay with us. Maybe you should not be a jerk, Captain Person.
Do these amulets have a clasp, or is Nevermore going to be trying to get these around horns?
They have a clasp.
Okay. Because horns
You
can
look
be
like
fun
a Christmas
sometimes
tree
while
now.
dressing.
Yeah. Oh man, trying to get shirts on must be a pain in the ass. Only button-ups.
Only button-up. Yep.
Okay, so you guys go with the Durgar peacefully and quietly, and don't try to kill them or attack them or be mean.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're going to move us back to this map because you are no longer here anymore. Bloop. And you guys were sort of here-ish in the Blade Bazaar, and now you are heading to Overlay Cold, just a short distance away. You are brought inside, and two of the Durgar converse quietly. With one of the Durgar who's there sitting behind a desk. And then the Durgar behind the desk nods, and you guys are brought into a side room that looks like an office. You're taken to a dark office and met by an imposing female gray dwarf. She's fully armored and bears an insignia you have not seen on any other Durgar. She's flanked by two stone guards who remain by the door. As you enter, she says, "Excellent. I'm Captain Erda Blackskull, commander of the Stone Guard." She says, giving each of you a calculating look.
Nice to meet you, ma'am.
Let me start by saying that you are worth nothing here in Gracklstugh. Most of those in my command would sell you off in a heartbeat as the cheapest manual labor. However, I believe you may be of use to me. I suggest you don't prove me wrong.
Nah.
There are things I need done, things that would be best done by people like you who blend in more than my Stone Guard. I understand you do not blend in amongst Durgar generally. However, where you might need to go and the people you might need to interact with, being Stone Guard will be much worse than being whatever it is you are. Looking at Otis.
I don't feel like she's expecting a response here, so I'm not going to.
We're looking for a Darrow. Goes by the name of Droki. He shows up in the Dark Lake District regularly. However, he always manages to somehow avoid capture, as if he knows in advance where we're going to be, whether we're invisible or not. We know he lives in the West Cleft District, and we dare not go there, because the Stone Guard have a storied history with the Darrow, we'll say. And I'd rather not provoke a riot unless I have to. So, I'd like you to follow him, see where he goes, who he interacts with. If you have an opportunity to get him and seize him, either bring him in for questioning or kill him and bring back evidence of what he's been doing, either is fine, I really don't care. I believe he's passing messages. Messages for certain clandestine groups, including the leader of the Darrows and a section of thieves known as the Grey Ghosts. Find evidence of what he's doing and bring it back here. And I might be able to give you something you need.
And what do we need?
I'm not sure. That's up to you. I assume you are capable of determining that.
Are you saying that you can give us something that we ask for?
As long as it's within reason. Yes.
That seems reasonable.
Depends on what you want.
I'm out of character to stop being harassed by you people. Really? Number one.
What was the guy's name again?
Droki is the name of the Darrow she wants you to find.
And where did you say that he's been last seen or commonly seen?
He shows up in the Dark Lake District. It seems to be part of his routine. However, we've had a lot of trouble apprehending him there. We know he lives somewhere in the Westcliffe District. That might be a better place to try to find him.
Are there any distinguishing features? Do you know what he looks like?
We do. He's short, about yay tall, and she puts out a hand about 3.5 feet off the ground. A large goatee, an accompanying mustache, all white, and a very unusual looking hat that seems to have tentacles coming off of it. It's rather unusual. Once you see it, you'll have trouble mistaking it, I assume.
That's pretty distinctive, gotta say.
Tentacle hat.
The Grey Ghosts? What's that? You said that was a group he was
They're
passaging?
they're a group of thieves and murderers. They operate underground in Gracklstugh.
Sorry to backtrack. Are we talking like squid tentacles or illithid tentacles?
Two large tentacles off the side of the hat.
Okay.
Question.
Yes.
Would we be able to get, like, passes or things like these, and he points to the amulet, to go around the town? I'd hate to be following this fellow and run into a place we can't go because we are unwanted or obstructed.
I can give you access to the areas south of the Dark Lake District, but not south of Lodiger's Furrow, the large chasm that splits Gracklstugh in two. That will gain you access to the West Cleft District where Droki makes his home. However, exit from the city and the southern half of Gracklstugh will still be off limits.
Yeah, but we have access to where we need to go, so that should be fine.
Excellent. Now, what is it you desire in return? You adventuring types always want something.
We just wanted to pass through.
Yeah, pass through.
I can arrange
unharmed.
that. I can give you access to any tunnel exiting the city you wish to leave through, and safe passage through it. Excellent. Any further questions? Good. I shall expect a report soon. And she just sort of waves, and the stone guard gesture for you to leave her office.
So do we have, like, badges now? Or
Yeah,
something?
like how do we get back to you through your guards?
Back here, this is in the Dark Lake District. You should be able to access this no problem. The officer at the front desk will give you badges to access the southern half. Or to Lodiger's Furrow, anyway.
Get your parking tickets punched at the desk.
Yeah, you gotta get
Gotta get
validation.
it validated.
Yeah, that's important. Okay. And so you guys are ushered out. The officer at the front desk hands you little stone, like they look like coins, but they're bigger, probably like a fist around, bearing the insignia of the Stone Guard. And as he hands them to you, he says, "These allow you access to Lodiger's Furrow and that portion of Gracklstugh, but not south of it. I mean, you can try, but if any of the guards challenge you, they won't be pleased that you've been sneaking around."
Do like the coin things say Baron's Justice on them?
They do not. There's no Baron here. There's a Deep King.
Damn.
But no Baron, unfortunately. No.
Deep King's Justice.
No. No. You haven't graduated. You haven't gotten to that level yet. Maybe soon. But you receive these little talismans or coins or whatever you want to call them, and then you are ushered out. And the door closes behind you with a stony thud.
Well, this has been a weird hour.
Oh no, this is quite common. As heroes, the local law will often deputize you. This doesn't happen to the rest of you? Just me, then.
Sometimes.
There you are.
And Knowledge is just shaking her head. Mm-hmm.
Don't usually need a special token. But
Anal is just looking over the notes about, looking for Droki and looks up at Nevermore and is just like, wasn't this similar to the work that you were doing topside?
bounty hunting's what I do. I'm sure I could figure this out. It's a city.
You and your brother?
We were working on that with him. But not really used to how things work in the Underdark. I don't have the connections here that I did up top.
Are there any animals around?
Animals? No. None that you can see anyway. Why?
Because I have speak with animals and beast sense, so if I found an animal that I could convince to stand still for 10 minutes so I could cast beast sense, I could see through its eyes and try and scout out if we can see him without tipping him off, find where he is.
No, you might be able to find rats, but the sort of acrid smoke and general industrial atmosphere going on in Gracklstugh is kind of anathema to most wildlife. It's a pretty nasty place. You might be able to find some vermin or something like that, but that would take a little doing.
Okay. That's a possibility, anyway.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Oh, shit. We have to go give the gold to at least our friends for the night so they can, sleep.
Oh, yes. We told them we'd be right back. That was a bloody battle ago.
We
Whoops.
should sleep, too.
Yes, I am very tired.
Okay. You guys head back to Goldborn's lair. You go inside. It's just as sort of kind of not busy as it was before. You notice that your compatriots have pushed a couple tables together and are sitting around. As you come in, Jim Jar waves at you and then he gives you a look like, "Why are you covered in blood? That's weird."
You're not used to that by now, Jim Jar. Come on.
Yeah, but you were going shopping and stuff. It was
I got
supposed to
punched
be...
by a by a giant.
Oh.
It was cool.
Oh.
Ginger.
Really?
Blade Bazaar. Blade Bazaar.
Right, but it sounds like she got hit with just a fist. That's not bladed at all.
It was a really big fist.
It's true, but that makes it kind of even further from a blade if you think about it.
He had really sharp nails.
I suppose. I guess. Still not really a blade, though, but sure. I guess I'll give you that one.
Well, we're going to see the rest of the stone giants later, so you can come with if you'd like, Jim Jar.
No, you got
Maybe
punched
not.
by one. I'm good.
I don't know if you're allowed. And she's gesturing at all the weird badges and amulets and stuff that this one gets me into this place, and then I'm tired.
Well, we got rooms now. Well, I mean, once you pay the man, so that's something you can do. Also,
Yeah.
I like you tried to buy that guy a drink earlier. I don't know if that's like a thing.
Oh, yes, a 3 copper. And she'll run up to the bartender and, here you go. Sorry.
He grunts at you and otherwise says nothing, and then passes over room keys for all of you.
Is that patron still in here? Not that it matters anymore, I guess.
He is, yes. He is still in here. I mean, you guys haven't been gone that long. Like, probably 20 minutes to half an hour at this point. So, not like a crazy long time.
So that was 12 gold and then 3 copper for the drink, yeah?
Correct.
I will edit that on the sheet.
I don't know if you still want to talk to him.
Yeah, she's, even though it's only been like a half an hour, she's pretty tired, so she'll just, oh, for fuck's sake, she'll grab her drink and go sit down, across from him. What are you reading?
Hi. He sort of starts as you sit down and he says, hi, and he looks down at you at his book and then back up at you, and he says, reports on trade between Gracklstugh and Blingdenstone over the past 10 years. Why? Hi, worse, pleasure.
What? I'm sorry, what? What's your name?
Worse, Salt Baron, pleasure.
Sorry,
Okay, this is the part where you tell me your name, usually.
Very tired. She takes a big swig. Sorry, very tired. Long, big, giant,
Sure.
2 heads out there. It was a thing.
Right, of course. Happens all the time.
No, I bought you a drink. You seemed like a friendly person, and
Oh, that was you?
yeah,
normally you're supposed to, say that. It was just kind of weird. I mean, I appreciate it, but...
Yeah, well, I
told her that.
so anyway, I tried to, I just didn't have the money. She'll try and, shout over Spirit Cat yelling.
Right, sure.
I had to go. Anyway, Anala, you look familiar, and, my parents were, well, they are, and she just kind of starts stumbling over. They're deep gnomes also, and your general
right.
My father liked to read, and
sure. Right, your parents were deep gnomes.
Well, I was adopted, of course. But I don't look like a deep gnome. I was just
right.
I'm sorry. This isn't going very well.
Sure.
What are you reading? I'm sorry. You said
reports of trade between Gracklstugh and Blingdenstone over the past 10 years.
Wow.
Trying to see how the city is recovering, how its trade's doing, trying to see some opportunities, that sort of a thing.
Is that your profession?
Of a sort, sure.
Are you studying for the purpose of learning about Gracklstugh or Blingdenstone?
No, I'm from Blingdenstone.
You just here visiting?
Well, not originally. I mean, I come here in business pretty frequently. I was just trying to see, is this worth my continued time? Should I be going somewhere else?
What is your business?
Buying and selling of certain particular items to certain discerning clients with enough gold to pay for them.
Oh, gold. What do you sell? I mean, just curious.
Let's just say they're items that have particular abilities above and beyond the normal everyday item.
Interesting. Well, I don't know that we're in the market just now. Do you have a business card or?
I do, actually. And he pulls out a little card, and it's kind of weird. It's not like a card. It's a little circle, and it says "Where's Salt Baron" on it, merchant extraordinaire. And he says, if you hold your finger and you say the word, the magic word, it tells me where you are, and I'll try and make my way to you. You know.
The magic word is your name?
No, God, no. The magic word is gold. Are you kidding?
Very subtle. I like it. It's easy to remember.
That's the goal. I mean, it's a business card. It's not supposed to be rocket science, right?
Smart man. Well, it's a pleasure meeting you. Where's Salt Baron?
Where's Salt Baron?
We're Salt Baron. Pleasure to meet you. And thank you for this. And she'll, gesture at the circle finger thing.
Sure. If you're ever in the market, let me know. When you come by Blinkenstone, I mean, I might be there, might not. Who knows?
And she'll just kind of take her drink and saunter on over to the big group and show the shiny circle thing to Spirit Cat. Look what I got. It's not real.
I mean, what does that mean? It's not real.
Well, I assume it looks like a coin of some kind or something. If it's
sort of, yeah. It does. It's supposed to look like a coin, yeah.
What's it do?
Well, he said that he's a merchant of special items. He's very vague about it, but I think that's kind of the point. But he said that we're in the market to lose some of our money for a special item, we just hold this and say the magic word, and he'll know where we are and come, sell his wares.
No, what's the magic word?
Fluffy butt. Yeah, I thought it was weird too, and she'll put it in her pocket.
Spirit Kid just sort of looks back over at the other guy.
I'm sure one is enough for the group, right? Yes, anyway.
So it summons a merchant?
Essentially, yeah, I think so. I don't know if it's instantaneous like that. I think he's just alerted to where we are, and, if there's money to be made, he seems like the kind of person that will be there quickly.
But with what?
I don't think he really felt comfortable telling me exactly what, but I got the gist it was magical items of some kind. Perhaps he didn't want to explain everything in such a public place. But he was studying finance books of the trade over the past 10 years between here and Blingdenstone. So I'm sure he knows what he's talking about, and he's just trying to find new clients.
So what you've acquired is a item that, should you find yourself carrying an obscene amount of riches, will alert a dodgy fellow to your location.
Basically, but it's one dodgy fellow, and we're lots of dodgy fellows, so I think we're in the win there.
I don't entirely understand the usefulness of this particular thing you have acquired, but well done.
That's fine. I'll buy all the magical things, and you've got enough. You've got enough sharp, pointy things that you don't even know what to do with yet. Never mind, Spirit Cat. Sorry.
Right. Does he carry mustache wax?
No, but I feel like the guy that we sold all of our armor and stuff to would. Or his brother. Either. Cousin. Brother? Was it a brother? Friend?
He was a brother.
Most of the Drugard tend to go with the beard wax. I think mustache wax is very different.
Should ask Neural. Alright, so food and sleep. Unless somebody else wants to go do weird things with
Yes.
patrons in the bar.
Does anyone else want to harass patrons in the bar? Or talk to them. You can talk to them too. You don't have to harass them.
Oh, well, thanks for specifying. No, Otis is working in the corner. He's trying to, like, count words. He's got to use his claws to do it because the hand unit doesn't really work as well for singling. Anybody got anything they want to send along to our smarter friends? I'm just letting him know about, suddenly two heads.
Oh, he was just all the details, which I'm sure you're going to do.
Yep.
We told him about the gems on the lake and the picking and the eyes and then the death thing that came and tried to kill us.
You did not know.
All right, I'll see if I can fit that in too, because I remember that we talked about last time was two-headed fish, so I think that's about where we were on tracking. Okay, I'll try
Two-headed
to fit it in.
giant. Spontaneously two-headed giant. Formerly mono-headed giant.
The artist formerly known as single-headed giant.
Lots of two-headed stuff. Stop. Send help. Stop.
I have 21 words, so I don't know if I can fit anything else in there reasonably.
Please and thank you. You got 25, right?
You got four left.
Yeah, I mean, can't hurt to.
You got
be
enough for
polite.
Dear Gracklstugh and Sincerely Otis.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Yeah,
He seems to like that formatting,
he does. He's a big fan.
so I'll send
Okay,
that
so
before we
you
try.
send that off to Gracklstugh. Okay, you are going to get back. Dear Otis, that's most troubling. Attempt to ascertain source of corruption. Will spread if left unchecked. Would suggest fixing or leaving soon. Sincerely, Gracklstugh.
Holy shit! Yeah, that's getting shared very quietly.
So we should have killed him?
Well, he's not the source. He just unfortunately got affected by whatever it is.
I've encountered things like this before with vampires. We have to find the master two-headed giant.
Or see what's messing with the rocks that they're talking to. I'm not sure how that works.
No, I don't think rocks had much to do with vampires.
Stone giants, though.
A two-headed rock?
Possibly, yes. Can't hurt but figure it out.
Yeah, I guess that can be a giant thing tomorrow.
Well, I'm sure that the stone giants are well aware now to be on their toes and be mindful of anybody that's acting a little cray-cray.
Well, if anyone has information, it would probably be that stone speaker fellow that you were talking about. I would definitely like to chat him up a bit and see what he's noticed. See how many heads he has currently.
So, go to bed, wake up early, take a walk through the dark lake, keep our eyes out for our Darrow, and head to the stone giant cave. I mean, she didn't really give us a timetable on this quest, and he did ask that we turn up tomorrow at the stone giant.
She said soon, he said tomorrow. So we know which one's more urgent.
Mm-hmm.
Quick clarification. The roof of the cavern is how high up?
Very.
Very.
And
Hundreds of feet, probably.
are the blobby things on the map pillars coming down?
No, they are stalagmites going up.
Like mites going up. Okay.
Nevermore, a question.
Hmm?
You can fly, yes?
Yes, most days.
And, from above, someone with a distinctive hat would be distinctive, yes?
So would a very red person. Flying.
Well, I was thinking if you flew higher than, say, 60 to 120 feet, you would be out of sight for most people.
And they would be out of sight for me.
Oh,
Is it I think it's illuminated at ground level?
Yeah, ground level's eliminated. Yeah.
True.
so you should be able to fly reasonably stealthily while spotting our person from above.
Can't hurt to try.
Well, from experience, I would disagree, but I like your optimism.
Ooh.
Never hurts to try.
Again,
Hurts to fail.
oh,
The trying part is not the problem.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
This is the next day, right?
I assume you were interested. This was this evening. I just want to make sure that no one else has anything to do before the next day. Last call for things to do. Okay, so we're going to assume that conversation took place the night before. Spirit brought it up, and you had to talk about it. So now, you guys wake up the next morning. None of you are dead, which is good. And you come downstairs. What is the plan for today?
Can I suggest a break before we make our plan for the day?
Oh, that's actually a really good idea. It's 10 o'clock. Yes, break time. Break time. Good call.
Woo!
That's a perfect break time. Oh, my goodness. It's been a while. Gotta loosen up.
Even uncomfortable beds probably feel amazing right now.
Oh yeah, they're like made of stone, but they feel so much better than anything any of you have slept in the past month and a half.
I mean, considering they were on a boat for however long,
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah,
rowboats, they weren't
There's
even
like
on.
not quite enough room. Yeah.
something like each time you damage a joint, it doesn't recover 100%.
Hmm.
I'm not sure why. Who knows?
So you should just do what I do and not.
I had to move once on my own when I was young and stupid, so I will never let any of my friends have that problem again. So if somebody's moving, I'm there, and it's just the thing I do. So when I'm proven wrong, and there is a god, and he wears a big flowy robe and has a great big bushy beard, and has some dude named Peter like standing at a gate being like, "No, you can't get in." You know, it's a very exclusive nightclub apparently. And like
You
you'll,
gotta
you
bring
know,
chicks, dude. You gotta bring chicks.
yeah.
That's the
See,
rule.
I'm not sure that I'm willing to do the whole "my wives have to die after me"
Oh,
kind
well,
of
there you
thing.
go.
So I didn't realize that was the whole pharaoh aspect. You're just bringing chicks to get into the nightclub.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's how they did it, right?
That's how they get you. But I'm figuring once I get up there, and they're like, "All right, you're heading down." I'm like, "Wait, have you got somebody to help you move?" And they're like, "Wait, you do that?" And I'm like, "You got it, buddy."
And then they're like, no, this is a perfect utopia. We have no need to move ever. And then you're like, oh no, darn it.
Oh, I thought I had you.
I thought I had you. You're a wily one. All right,
Yes.
excellent. Is what's his face back?
Yeah.
Excellent. Perfect. He's my favorite. Okay. So, are we ready to continue?
Yep.
Define ready.
Wait, look.
Vanilla.
I was going to do a good joke, but it just brought up the Taylor Swift song Ready, so I'm too lazy to actually look up the definition. Okay, so you guys have woken up the next morning, and you need to figure out what the heck you are going to do with your day today.
We were going to go talk to stone giants and then maybe root out a darrow.
Yeah, keep an eye out for the Darrow as we go through the district, and then because I'm not sure exactly of the direction to go to the stone giant place, straight through the middle or what?
Well, now that you have gained access to it, you feel your mind expanding with general directions on how to get to the stone giant place.
Need coffee, need to expand faster, please.
It is there. This is what you now have access to. So this, down here, is the only portion you can go south of Lodiger's Furrow, which is this giant chasm in the middle. But Cairngorm Cavern is the home of the stone giants and is where you have been allowed to go using your little stone amulets.
And then West Cleft District was where the Darrow was?
That is where Droki lives, yes.
They said that he walks throughout the Dark Lake district,
He
spreading
shows
his
up
stuff.
in the Dark Lake District every day. He doesn't walk around and hang out. He just
Oh.
goes.
How far was Stool's range of
30 feet.
30 feet? So yeah, he's gonna be out of that.
Yeah, if you're up in the air.
Yeah, he's as they're wandering through where he can fly, he'll do a circuit around, way up in the dark and try to spot a weird ass hat in the midst of most people having white hair.
Okay, you can try to give me a perception check and see if you see anything.
Perception.
Sure. You spy no hat that matches that description.
Okay.
You do, however, hear like something. It sounds like really big flappy wings and the enormous roar of what sounds like flames or something kind of high up in the sky with you.
He's not gonna stay up there. He's gonna come spiraling back.
Nevermore, at least excuse yourself. That's disgusting. The food wasn't that bad.
But as you shoot back to the ground, you look around and see that Themberchild is out and about doing his rounds, and
She's like,
showing
"Hi,
similar
guy,"
eyes
and
there.
just like not, just
Do you-
stay
do
out
you-
of his way.
Okay,
Stay out of his way. Like,
okay, and he doesn't seem to pay you much mind.
And I'll look over there. And I'll look quick, dragon. And I'll dragon.
I'm trying to read these directions, Spiro.
It's right there, right. Just look up.
Yes,
there.
Nevermore's shadow casts very big on the ground. Yes, I know.
He like gets out shiny things and like reflects the dragon image into her eyes.
I thought you were going to try and signal to the dragon, like, come down here.
Yeah, come down here. Okay, now that Nevermore has not been able to spot your pal Droki, is the plan to head toward Cairngorm Cavern?
I was kind of hoping.
but he's depends on where everyone else goes. 'Cause
Yeah, I mean, that was the general gist, but I was kind of hoping me and the bartender clearly have a thing going on now. I was hoping maybe I could slide him a shiny few silver for, and just say the word, Grey ghosts? Huh? Huh? Do you know where they...
He looks at you, looks down at the silver, and then just pushes it back across to you, and he says, "Ain't worth my life."
Fair enough. Okay,
like-
thank you.
That seems pretty reasonable. Can't really argue with it. Okay. Stone giants? Or do you want to ask other people around about the Grey Ghosts?
Let's just walk all throughout the Dark Lake District going, Grey ghosts?
Grey Ghosts?
No.
Grey
Grey
Ghosts?
ghosts?
Grey Ghosts? Grey Ghosts? Okay, so you guys head off for Cairngorm Cavern, the home of the Stone Giants. As you reach one of the gates that leads south out of the Dark Lake District, you're stopped by guards, but showing them your amulets lets you through. They don't look happy about it, but they do it. And you are allowed out. You can quickly see as you come to it what Captain Blackskull meant by a cavern or a canyon, because this rift is nearly 200 feet deep and over 500 feet wide. Homes and buildings dot the walls of each side of the cavern, and then at each end you can see enormous stone doors that seem to block off the other districts. The ones in here seem to be fairly nice homes. Like this would be where the working class would live in Gracklstugh.
Where did
Durgar
Rupido
exclusively.
say he was from?
He said he lived in Westcliffe District.
Ah, good.
You did indeed. But you guys pass over one of the many stone bridges and make your way down here to Cairngorm Cavern. As you approach the cavern, you can see there's a stone giant stationed out front. And as you approach, he comes to you and he says, "You must be the little ones that helped Reboot yesterday."
Hear that?
Yes.
Told you little. Says to Mirren.
4 little ones and 1 tiny one. Yes.
Excellent. The stone speaker is waiting. And he leads you back down this very long cavern into a series of smaller caverns at the back. As you come in, you notice you are the only one who is not a stone giant in here. There's no Durgar, there's no Darrow, no one. It's just stone giants. And you are brought into what seems to be some sort of place of spiritual significance. There's stone giants kneeling in various stages of prayer, and there's a large altar made out of huge crystalline structures of various shapes and colors. And one of the stone giants seems to be, he's got robes on, and he's carrying a large crystal in one hand, almost using it as a quarterstaff, size for him. And as he sees you enter, and he sort of breaks off and comes to the front of the cavern, and he says, you must be the ones who helped yesterday. I am Stone Speaker Hagram. Pleasure.
Pleasure to meet you too, sir.
If you have any questions about the nature of this place you find yourself, I imagine it must be difficult to navigate for someone such as yourselves. I would love to help in any way I can.
Yeah, your stairs are a bit wide. But other than that...
He says, I also have a gift. And he pulls out of a bag at his belt a small crystal. Small to him. It's about forearm size to you guys, so pretty sizable to you. And he says, this was created by the librarians at Graven Hollow. It will help guide you. And he passes it to, I'm going to say, Anala. And as you sort of grab it, Murren attacks the stone speaker.
That's what I meant.
You can hold the crystal if you want, Murren. Sorry.
And as you grab it, like, you can tell this is definitely magical. Like, you don't know what it does, but it's really obvious it's magical. You can, as you look in it, there's like, you can see swirling lights, and like you can almost make out what looks like places or people's faces, but they like always disappear just before you can figure out what they are. But it's just like, it's so very clearly magical.
And he said it will do what for us? What
Help
did he say?
guide your way.
Okay. Thank you very much. And she'll like kind of hold it next to Spirit Cat, because if it's like half her forearm, it's got to be like half his, top half. But thank you. I don't suppose you could provide us like a quick tour, and she'll try and be like, I just need like 10 minutes, guys. Just want to find out what this does without leaving.
He'll nod and say, as you wish. And he will lead you around Cairngorm Cavern. It's pretty Spartan. As far as accommodations go, it seems that all the stone giants live here. There's like a living area where it seems like they all sleep. There's a dining area where they like communally prepare meals and eat together. There's this like the closest like equivalent to a church where they commune with the stones, and it's their sort of spiritual center. Beyond that, there's not much in here. It's pretty basic. It seems like the stone giants don't really want or care for much. The only other thing that exists is a library. Is the other room in here. It seems like the stone giants are pretty fastidious about recording information.
We do have a bit of information that might help, or at least point you in the direction to figuring out what happened to your companion yesterday?
He nods and says, please, any help would be beneficial.
When we were in the Sloopla-doop, did I say that right?
That's pretty close, yeah.
We saw the Demogorgon. Do you know what that is?
He frowns and says, more than I would like to.
So you're aware?
Indeed.
On the way here, we saw. Was it a two-headed fish?
Yeah.
Yeah, the fish and the Fismus.
In the Fismus, yep.
Fismus.
Mhm.
But,
That's what it's called, for sure.
no, the other man, or giant we spoke to yesterday said this happened while he was communing with the stones.
Indeed.
Whatever he's doing is clearly infecting everything. It might be safer to not do that. I don't know. I mean, clearly this is very important to you, but this could happen again.
He says, I have inspected the stones. They themselves are not to blame. I suspect he was vulnerable to this influence at the time, and it was what allowed him to be so taken so quickly. I cannot ask that any of the stone giants stop communing, but I can attempt to make it safer.
Since this is the first Mern's hearing about it, does he have any idea? Do I have any idea who Demogorgon is?
You could roll me a religion check.
No one's mentioned it to him yet, so 9.
No, you don't know.
Okay.
Okay, that's fucking
Cool.
weird, right? Like they're just saying weird names. You, as you guys are talking, Stone Speaker Grom says, "This information you've given me has helped me understand something. A vision I've been receiving over and over again for the past 10 days or so."
And that's
I
roughly
suppose-
how far back?
About
saw.
Sloobladoop back.
Yeah.
Yeah. He says, I will share it with you. Perhaps it will help you on your journey. And he says, I see something evil stirring in the Underdark. The rock itself cries in pain and horror, and a madness creeps from the blackest depths. Pay heed to the signs surrounding you. A cave with two faces, rock devoured, and the land overgrown. The pebble believes itself flesh. The earth rejects its wards, and the tunnels shake in fury. By these portents, I believe we shall know of evil's presence and of evil's face. This is what I have been seeing.
Oh, could you repeat all of that again? I'm sorry, I was so distracted by this crystal.
Absolutely. Perhaps it would be better if I typed it for you.
That would be wonderful. You stone giants are so advanced. Also, did I get a read on the type of magic as we're walking around?
Divination.
Okay. Interesting.
I mean, if it'll help guide our path, that's kind of what you'd expect.
Indeed.
How? Do we rub it?
Hello.
I said you can hold the crystal in a minute.
No, look. Look, sword, dagger. Huh? What do you think? Huh?
Fine, give me the sword and the dagger.
Ah!
What kind of magic do I get off of the sword and the dagger?
The short sword has transmutation. The dagger has nothing.
All right, I'll let Spirit know. Dagger, nothing. It's just a dagger from a bitchy lady. And the short sword, it's transmutation. It seems like it might fit whatever you might need, maybe? No promises, but that's my best guess.
Transmutation?
Hmm.
Isn't that
I
stuff
assumed-
that changes stuff?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
assumed it was something like Joey's.
You could roll. You
Seems
could roll
like,
an Arcana to maybe know what might be on it.
I know, like, Nevermore's just like,
Uh.
maybe you stab things and turn them into sheep or something. That would be helpful.
I'm gonna remember
you-
this for once. I'm
You
sorry.
also know that the crystal requires attunement. 10. I mean,
Plus
you
the
know,
D4?
transmutation. Plus a D4. Yeah.
Oops, 11.
11.
La la.
Nice. You know that transmutation is used to change things into other things. It's also used to fundamentally alter properties of whatever it's cast on. That could be really interesting or really not interesting. And it's kind of, you don't really know which it is. Without sitting and thinking about it for a little while.
Does the sword require attunement, or?
It does not require attunement. No.
Okay.
So I guess I'll whisper all my findings for the sword and the dagger, probably just to Spirit and whoever's near us. But whoever's not captivated by the typing of the stone giant, I'll mention that the crystal is emitting divination to help us with our future, but it also feels like it'll require attunement from one of us. Oh, text. Yay.
How heavy is the crystal?
The crystal, pretty heavy. Like, probably somewhere in the order of 15 or 20 pounds.
Oh, okay.
So it's like half a spirit cat.
Yeah, like half a spirit cat.
Well, he's already carrying like 40 times his weight. And now to have his crystal to it.
I mean, like,
if you offer it to him, he is taking it.
Oh God, no. This was all internal.
Okay.
No,
I
I've
was
seen the drool appearing with the crystal. You're like, no.
Can't
She'll
take that apart.
she'll just kind of once she realizes that it takes attunement, she's like, it seems like a very cool thing, but I don't really want to lug it around myself. Would either of you big people want to lug this around?
Mern's strong.
Yes, and Otis does already have
send.
yeah, you have jobs to do, so she just
Okay.
kind of looks towards Nevermore and it like nods at Nevermore because Murin's been with us for about a day, but this is a big deal, and she just hands it over.
Spirit Cat's like jumping up in the air, hands waving, trying to grab it.
She's
Little too
swatting.
short.
No. Do you want your short sword back?
And Nevermore will lean in close to Murin and be like, don't let the little one have it.
He'll narrow his eyes at Spirit Cat and nod. What's it called? It's just a crystal, or?
Right now, it's just a crystal. You don't know what it does.
Okay.
I guess
Someone might have to explain attunement to him, though.
Right after Demogorgon.
Yep.
We've got a growing list of explain to Murin.
Yes.
Only 3 per
Story
day
time.
before blowing his mind. I think Nevermore should be the person to explain the Demogorgon, because dang, Nevermore. You had a day that day.
Oh.
I guess the only other, I'd be interested in asking Stonekeeper about where, what area our two-headed friend became two-headed, And if these crystals have... If it's like, you get to know what to do, but there's also a giant burden on you. If this is like a rotating around thing.
Like worshipping at the, like praying at the crystals, you mean?
Our mini crystal. Our portable worship crystal, I guess.
Oh, the portable worship crystal. There's no like downside to it. No.
Okay. Well, you know, portents, and if you're having portents of Demigorgon, and we saw what happened to Nevermore, when you stare into it and you're not fully
You think
ready.
this might be a case of when you literally stare into the abyss literally stares back,
Yeah.
so to speak? I say. Well, I mean, just, so to speak, Grom would say, I would recommend caution if using it in that way. You must always be careful what you choose to look into, whether magically or otherwise.
Okay. And then, yeah, we have... I have a friend who's quickly becoming an expert on this. What's the pronunciation? Is it Fizness? What?
Phase res.
Phase res.
Yes. Phase
Good
res.
lord.
Faezress.
Never to remember that.
I like Physmus, though. That's pretty good.
Give him the Physmus.
Yeah.
He indicated that one of these areas might be an area and that it might spread. And were there any areas that he frequented?
He frowns and says, none unusual, none others have not also been.
Yeah, that's really concerning. That is a concern. His estimates point towards the source of the problem becoming stronger and larger with time. If there's any more of this, I would expect it to be coming quicker and more frequent.
I will attempt to protect us, but I'm not sure what we can do to stop it.
So I'm just like rereading the thing that Hagram typed out. Would, having been in a bunch of tunnels in the Underdark, would that, the cave with two faces or any of that description ring a bell of anything that I've seen?
Give me a history check.
What are the
Guidance.
rules? Yeah, I was gonna say, what are the rules on guidance? Can I just go?
Yeah.
I don't know.
A 20.
Plus the D4.
Interesting.
Three.
Okay. There's a thing specifically that you remember because you grew up in Blingdenstone. There is a thing in Blingdenstone known as, I want to get this right, so I don't want to tell you just a second. Known as Ogremock's Bane. Okay? And specifically, rock devoured, land overgrown, and the pebble believes itself flesh kind of remind you of that. Because Ogremock's Bane is like an entity or a force something that exists in Blingdenstone in areas that have not been reclaimed yet. Blingdenstone uses a lot of rock elementals, stone elementals, to do work for it. And they have for a long time. That's not uncommon. But Ogremok's Bane is like a cloud, basically, that seems to be sentient. It's like a cloud of rock dust. And it goes, and everywhere it goes that stone elementals come in contact with them, it makes them go crazy and attack people. And no one knows why, and no one knows what it is or where it came from, but it just sort of exists and is there. That kind of reminds you of that. You don't know what that might mean, but those sort of things are sort of ringing a bell to you.
I would definitely say that out loud to Hagrim and be like, this reminds me something of near the home that I grew up. Have you guys encountered any Ogremok's nearby?
So you describe it to him, and he ponders and scratches his chin and says, I have never heard of something like that. I will need to look into our records, see if I can't learn more. That is unusual, though. So he doesn't seem to know, but he'll try to look into it, see if he might learn something.
We do have some other business to attend to. Would we be able to call upon you again before we leave this city?
He nods and says, and if you learn anything else about what might have afflicted Reboot, please don't hesitate to tell me.
Anybody else? Anything to ask him?
Okay. You guys head out of Cairngorm Cavern. Where are you off to next?
Real quick, do you get along with the guards very well? We got one that was kind of a dick. Just saying. Anyway, never mind. Not important, I guess. His name's Garblock. If you could make his life a living hell, that'd be great. Okay, sorry. What? Where are we going?
So,
West Cleft District next, I think, right?
that's the plan?
Allowed in there? Do we know that?
I think that's what our badges do.
That's the
Yeah.
second badge that we got.
We're all rifling through our... Okay, no, not this one. No, not this one. This one. And I guess we'll get in and just be under the guise of looking for bloopy-doop, doop, boopy-doo, boop,
Yo.
bibbidi-boop-boop.
Okay. As has become sort of a theme here, almost. You exit Cairngorm Cavern, and as you're walking towards Laudiger's Furrow to descend to the West Cleft District...
No things happen.
Yeah, nothing happens, actually. It's totally weird. You get there, and it's totally fine.
Somebody
and
hands you a
nothing unusual is
fruit
going
plate.
on.
It's weird. Very nice.
No, you are approached by a Durgar in white and red robes. And he sort of steps in front of you, bows deeply, and says, greetings. Gartakar Zundorn, and I wish to speak with you.
Can you type your name out? I can't.
Surface dwellers.
Everyone,
Yes, don't I
everyone
look the
here,
part.
everyone here carries a typewriter with them because
Yeah.
of surface dwellers.
Yeah.
Oh, come on!
I was sort of close.
So
What did he
so
say?
he bows and introduces himself, and he says, "I wish to speak with you."
You already are, sir.
I was just making sure that was agreeable to you. Now I come as but a humble representative of the great Themberchild. He wishes to speak with you.
Of course he does.
Did we get famous and not notice? The great what
He
now?
heard
Were you
of
not
your
listening to
exploits
me?
with the stone giants, and he saw one of you flying this morning.
We should go. This will be an excellent opportunity for reconnaissance.
Just reconnaissance, Spirit Guide?
I'm a little under-equipped at the moment.
I mean, we're really
That is
already
so
being summoned in so many different directions. May we ask what this is regarding? You just want to meet our fellow amazing flying friend?
I would not suggest turning down Themberchow.
And I don't want to cause any trouble.
Have any of us ever heard that name before?
Also, I guarantee
yes.
you there's a group sigh at the "Don't refuse this."
Don't leave town.
Themberchow, Murren, you would be aware of this.
Okay.
Themberchow is known as the Wormsmith of Gracklstugh. He is the great red dragon that lights the city's fire.
Ah.
Thunderchild?
Themberchow, spelled like this.
Takes out his
Not
typewriter.
even close. Mine looks like a dog food name.
Oh. So the dragon wants to say hi?
You know,
Well, it is polite to announce versus your worthy adversaries.
just yesterday, no one wanted us anywhere near them. And now we're being pulled in 5 different directions. It's just ridiculous. There's only so many hours of not light in the day.
Funny how that works out, isn't it?
Is this a come now type of invitation?
Themberchow is not known for his patience. However, you are free to do as you wish.
I would rather not upset the great Thunderchild, personally.
This one is wise.
Yes, but if we go now, then we are not. I mean, we're delaying the other promise we already made to somebody else. But I mean, if you
That
guys
we
want
didn't
to
have
go,
a deadline for.
she expected us soon, so I
that
suppose.
we didn't have a deadline for and that we're less afraid of.
Are we?
Murren is. I don't know.
Inala.
I mean, what? This big red Drugar can just, she'll like. Hold on a second. Huddle.
Inala. Hun, calm down a second. I know you seem to have this notion that dragons aren't real creatures,
Not you two.
but they are very big and they are very smart and they can be very angry. Why don't we just go say hello, pay our respects, and hopefully not. I would prefer not to have a dragon burp fire at me from above because I didn't come say hello.
Okay.
Possibly annihilate a whole
Let's-
group of people that happen to be around me.
If Darrow show up in Dark Lake District during day anyway, more likely to be back at Westclef at night. Later on.
It's still morning-ish, right? We weren't there all day.
No.
I would think so.
Well,
It's not like there's
a.
it's not like there's an actual daytime and nighttime down here anyway.
It's also fair.
But he would prefer not to upset dragons. So,
I mean, assuming that everything that you're saying is true, I don't exactly know why we're walking up to the thing that breathes, and she got air quotes even though it's not a thing, breathes fire in your face. I don't know why we're going right up to it, but if that's where you all want to go first, then fine, we'll go there.
because think of it as a learning experience.
Spirocat's got his book out, opened up to a big picture of a red dragon, and he's pointing at it.
Now, Gatakar, How accurate would you say this wing structure is compared to Themberchow?
You pull out your little clockwork dragon, you said?
No, I pull out my book on Dracupuncture.
On Dracupuncture. I
And
see.
it's got a big red dragon.
Is that about vampires or dragons?
Could be either one. It plays out in several ways. But this particular one shows pressure points on a dragon's wing and the application of appropriate size needles and such.
Now, would you say this curvature is accurate? I modeled it after several images that I saw. I've not yet had the opportunity to see a red dragon in flight nearby. He was rather high up the last few times. My eyesight only goes so far. Is that about right, or would you say a little steeper, a little...
He would look at it and would say, "It appears you've done a magnificent job."
Ah, thank you.
And then snaps that shut.
However, I would refrain from asking Themberchow for measurements.
Well, I have a very good eye for measurements. You see, my hands, I just hold them up, and I know that's approximately one hand.
I think foot is a much better measurement. It's more universal, it sounds.
Do you think he would like me to take my boots off in his presence? I wouldn't normally think that a creature with a sensitive nose would appreciate that. But I suppose you are the expert on interspecies
It
communication.
shows respect. Yeah. You lay down, extend your foot in the air, and just, measure that way.
Aha! I feel that perhaps you have exaggerated your skills in interacting with others, given the evidence of your latest seduction attempt. But, yes.
Well, I'm clearly not the expert in these dragons, so lead the way.
Otis is on board. This sounds like a acceptable idea to go there first, and he's really much more concerned about looking at this dragon, talking to it, and seeing if it's going to spontaneously sprout a second head and start mauling things.
Wouldn't that be a bummer, right?
Yeah.
Hydra!
I just back.
I have a whole section on my book for that. They carry a lot of tension at the base of their necks.
I'll actually take, if Spirit Cat will let Anala, I'll take the book and start reading as we're walking over there. All right, fine. Let me see. What is this?
Do you think if we tied his mustache under his chin, it would keep him from speaking?
Ow!
Well, that sounds painful.
Onward to dragons.
Onward to dragons. So, you follow Gartakar south through here, over here. And he leads you to the entrance of this cavern. He leads you to large stone doors carved into the walls of this cavern. As he does so, the ground trembles slightly, and a thunderous voice echoes against every wall. "Gartakar!" the voice calls as a reptilian behemoth comes into view. It scales the color of lava, its bright yellow eyes glowing in the shadows of the cave before coming into the light. "You didn't say I was having surfacers for dinner today!" And the dragon chuckles at his own wit. His massive body gives the distinct impression that he's overweight, indicating eating habits that don't bode well. "Foreigners," the Durgar priest says with great reverence, "meet the father of the flame, the ever-burning, and the foundry's heart, Themberchow, the wormsmith of Gracklstugh." And he sort of bows as he does so.
Nevermore will bow too, because that seems like the thing to do. Please don't upset the dragon.
Murn will bow his head when Nevermore does.
It's an honor to meet
Worthy
you.
adversary. Hat off, flourish.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's what Thunderchild looks like.
Wow, that is a fat dragon.
Yeah, baby.
Damn!
Spirit takes his book back, opens it up, takes his little charcoal pencil, makes 2 wide circles around it, a la the acupuncture for the panda.
And he says, "Come, come, surfacers, inside my dwelling so we might not be disturbed." And he turns around and walks through the stone doors into the cavern beyond. Do you follow him?
Whatever you say, great Ember Child. And he's gonna go on in. He's the one with the
Okay.
wings, and he doesn't want his friends to get all.
Does anyone choose not to?
Yeah, I will go ahead and also do that.
Okay. So you guys head inside, and after you are all in, the doors grind shut behind you. Themberchild has nestled himself on an enormous pile of gold and treasure, and says, "Please come in. Make yourselves comfortable."
So it's just like a cavern.
It's a
Treasure
big cavern
hoard.
with a giant treasure hoard in the middle. There's no chairs.
Yeah,
or,
I'm
like,
not
place to
expecting there to
sit
be
or
chairs.
anything.
So, Nevermore will walk up close, not like he's not going to touch the hoard, but he'll sort of settle down in front of it.
Okay.
Was I the one you wanted to speak to?
Murn will walk a little bit in front of Nevermore and then sit down. Just between Nevermore and the dragon.
Okay.
Spirit Cat will have completely bristled as the door ground shut, and
You should talk to your steward. If you get that door properly counterbalanced, it will slide shut much more easily. That's a completely unnecessary noise. Now, I happen to have some of my tools. If you want, I can go and fetch them. Give me 4, maybe 5 weeks. We'll get that shutting much more nicely for you. That's just terrible.
He says, "I like it. Makes it harder for someone to sneak up on me."
He's got a point.
I like your idea. We should add some alarms, maybe some bells, chimes. Is there any particular noise you like other than that grinding? It's off key.
He says, "My protection is well taken care of. I assure you."
Pull up a seat, Spirit Cat.
"Yes, Spirit Cat, join the others, and you will learn what your great wormsmith has for you."
he rolls himself up a seat.
And once you are all sort of ready in front of him,
Story time with Dragon.
he says, before he looks like he's about to begin, and then over your head, he just blows a plume of fire against the door and waves it back and forth across it, holding it for about 6 seconds. And then once he's done, smoke still coming from his nostrils, he says, "Just making sure there were no invisible listeners. You can never be too careful with these sneaky Durgar. Now,
It's not guidance. I just wanted to get the GIF in there.
Oh, okay. I have an offer for you. Do me a favor and you will have my protection in Gracklstugh. No harm shall come to you. No one will be able to harass or imprison you. You will be safe.
What would you have us do, great Thumberchild?
He says, I know for a fact the Keepers of the Flame are going to request you to complete a mission. I ask that before you complete it, you report to me first. Do you think you can handle that?
Are the Keepers of the Flame the guards that already asked us to do a mission?
Those of you who are knowledgeable of the Underdark or have been here, such as Murren, we know the Keepers of the Flame are the ones in charge of handling Themberchild. So the man you spoke to, Gartakar, is a member of the Keepers of the Flame.
Oh, okay. So
Are they
it's
up
like
to
the
something you
fourth
don't like?
person to ask us to do something for, and there's gonna be a fifth. Good to know.
You think they're up to something?
He says, Durgar are always up to something. They think me stupid and complacent.
That's not very smart of them.
Indeed, it is not. So, should you do this, you shall receive my protection for the duration of your stay. And if you perform particularly well, I could be convinced to part with an item from this pile.
You want to know what their mission is?
I want to know what it is, and I want you to report back to me once you have completed it before you speak with them.
Do you think they'll keep us from coming back?
They will not defy my wishes.
All right. I could come back and tell you what they said.
I have no need to know exactly what they request of you. Only once it is completed do I care. If you die in the attempt, it makes no difference to me what their mission was, as long as it is not completed.
So, get the mission, report to you before we do it?
Before you
after
finish.
we report back to them.
Ah. Okay.
So basically, he wants you to go get it, go do it, but instead of reporting back to the keepers, report to him.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, is there... She doesn't want to... Like, she doesn't feel comfortable addressing that, so she'll just keep staring at it and whisper down to Spiritcat. But how do we get to that without going through them? Like, how do we do... Aren't they going to be like, hey, did you do that thing? And we're going to just...
Murren will hear this and just repeat it aloud to Themberchild. How do we get back to you without going through them?
You will lie. I trust that is within your capabilities.
We can do that, no problem.
Good. Now, leave.
Sorry, Otis has been. Yeah, Otis has been quiet this whole time. Deliberately just studying the way Themberchild is talking and stuff to remember it for later when we talk to him next to see if there's going to be two heads. Also, yes, he wants to leave.
Okay.
Thank you for your time, Great Thunderchild. We will do our best to serve you.
He says, I'm certain you will if you are half as smart as you look. And he stands up and the doors open. And I assume you leave.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Okay, and you guys head out. Gartakar is still waiting there for you on the other side of the doors. And as you come out, he smiles and says, "Did you have a good time?"
Actually, yeah. I quite enjoyed that.
Excellent.
I'm gonna
So-
before he continues, I'm gonna put my hand to my head and close my eyes and squidgy him up a little bit and be like, "You're gonna ask us to do something for you, aren't you?"
He smiles and says, "Aren't you wise for a drow?"
She still looks pretty smug. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You just have
Yes, I am.
saw it coming.
Please come. Let's meet in my office. I don't wish to discuss this on the street. And he leads you to a building right nearby in this carved out of this stalagmite. And he leads you into a very nice office that's got various flame and dragon themed decorations. There's like a little what seems to be fossilized dragon egg on his desk. It's very fancy, far nicer than Captain Erida's office in Overlake Hold. And as he leads you in and closes the door, he says, "We have had something stolen from us. I heard you were partaking in a task for the Stone Guard. This will not get in the way, but I believe you can complete them both at the same time. I need you to retrieve this item and bring it back to me."
What item?
A red dragon egg.
Well,
Hmm.
do you know who took it?
Yes, the Grey Ghosts have taken it from us. They are using it to perpetrate vile magics somewhere in the city.
What kind of magic?
We're not sure, but we are all psionically attuned, and we have sensed something evil growing in Gracklstugh. The Grey Ghosts are behind it.
Those fiends.
Go on.
We're not sure of the details, at least not yet. We're attempting to learn more. However, it has grown worse since they've acquired the egg. It's possible they're using it for something nefarious. Steal it back and return it to me.
Okay, we really didn't get a whole lot of direction. The Grey Ghosts are where exactly? And please don't say everywhere all at once, like a network of spies, because that's very unhelpful.
Well, it is true that they do seem to be everywhere all at once. We have identified an agent, someone I believe you are familiar with. A Darrow named Droki.
I was really hoping he wasn't going to say Boopido, because goddamn.
Wouldn't that be great?
So you said the Darrow was the last known to have it, or you just know of his location and his connection?
Yes, he is an agent of the Great Ghost. I believe if you follow him, he should bring you back to their base or one of their locations. He runs information items for them.
So, you're all linked, and great evil is coming out because of these gray ghosts. Do you have any more, like a little bit more information about what kind of great evil? Where it came from?
No, it's relatively new, and until recently was simply a disturbance, a ripple, something you see out of the corner of your eye, and then you look at it full on and it's not there anymore. It's only in very recent times that it has grown more nefarious, more in the open.
Like 10 days ago?
He shrugs and says something like that, yes.
Okay, how do we make sure that in grabbing this red dragon egg that we don't continue to let the evil juice spill out of it? How do we transport it?
The red dragon egg itself is hardly evil. It's just an egg. It's what they can use it for as in terms of a focus for magic. That is what makes it dangerous. Dragons are potent magical beings. They have power that can be drawn upon. If you simply remove it and bring it back, it won't harm you.
Just curious, but does this egg come from that back there?
No. Thumberchild is a solo male. He will
There's
not be laying
more.
any eggs anytime soon.
So there's a bunch of these.
There are quite a few red dragons throughout Faerun, yes.
Nevermore will just kind of lean in and whispers, they come in different colors.
Does that make them more dangerous?
I'm
Depends on
not
who
an
you are.
expert on dragons, but I hear red are pretty formidable.
So, do this for me and do this for me, return the egg, and you will be rewarded.
Anal is just gonna ask Spirit for his book again. Quick. Yeah, sounds good. If you guys are cool with this, book.
I mean, we're already heading in that direction.
Yes, we'll take your exclamation point, sir.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did we hit all the exclamation points on the map yet?
I'm sorry, what were the, perks for risking our lives again? Besides stopping great evil, obviously that's very important, but, this place is dangerous.
Indeed it is. And I know that your types do love rewards. So,
Okay.
I can provide you with equipment, weapons, armor, potions, scrolls, things of that nature.
Of
If
our
you
choosing?
if you return the egg to me, I can give each of you the equivalent of 350 gold worth of equipment in whatever form you wish it to take.
Can't hurt. Another side quest added to the list.
Remember, you can only hold 25 of them, and then at that point you have to start to lose.
If we walk out of here and somebody else walks up to us, we're walking past.
One point. We're not allowed in this area. Could we get our hall passes?
Do you have an amulet,
yes.
a gold coin? We don't have rings yet. Do you have any rings?
I do not have rings. I have, unfortunately, another amulet.
Well, now we're just going to leave
actually, no, I lied. It is a pin. A pin. A gold pin that bears Thumberchild's profile.
A brooch?
Perhaps. This should allow you to travel any.
Yes, we know how these work.
No, I don't think you do. This allows you to travel anywhere.
No questions asked?
No questions asked. They will not allow you to leave, but beyond that, you are free to move about.
She's turning it over, looking for Baron's justice.
No Baron. There's no Baron, unfortunately. Can't have Baron's justice.
Emberchild's justice.
Yeah, Thumberchild's justice. Getting on the ground won't help. Okay. Any other questions for Gardakar, or are you guys pretty confident you know what he wants and what you're going to get for it and all that?
Yeah, yeah, we're good. I've got an idea, guys. Go on.
Okay, so you get let out, and now you are free to go where you please. It's still it's not that late in the day. Probably 10:30, 11-ish at the latest.
I know you guys are all scared of pissing off the big fire-breathing thing, but I think I found a loophole. I don't know if it'll work. But if and when we get this egg, technically, the great Ember Chow guy, he said that we just have to come to him before turning it in. He didn't say that we have to give it to him, so I think win-win here. If we go to him and say, yes, this is what they wanted us to do, we did it, and one of us goes to turn it in also. 2 birds, 1 stone, still fulfilling our commitments and getting the best of both worlds? No? Or we can kill the egg, because that thing sounds pretty evil. Really, really evil. And if it's gotten in the hands of the Grey Ghost once, what's to say it won't happen again? And she hands the book back to Spirit Cat, because that's kind of what she was looking up, like, how to kill eggs. Just smush with boot or other.
Omelet is preferred method.
We haven't eaten well lately, so...
Sin, you and your characters in murdering children. I
I
swear.
just love it.
Evil dragons! Evil dragons!
This is an infant. This is the worst yet.
Okay, in your opinion,
Fair.
we haven't defined
hasn't
exactly
been
when
born
it
yet,
becomes
no.
not omelet, so...
Well, that's a really sticky situation, isn't it? We're getting into some dangerous territory with that question. But it's pretty clearly not like a person, like not.
What came
yet?
first, the egg or the fire-breathing dragon death? Yeah.
I mean,
I don't.
That just seems not fair. If I had known something like that existed down here, I might not have been tunnel diving my whole life, knowing that one of those was waiting around the corner. It just seems awfully unbalanced in terms of evil good. And I'm not digging that, is what I'm saying.
Finally, a worthy opponent.
The egg?
Oh, the dragon.
Spirit Cat's biased. Yeah, that's a worthy opponent.
Yes, have at it, Spirit Cat.
You don't think he'll accept my offer of as a duel for the reward he's giving?
Who are you trying to fight, Spirit Cat? Exactly. Besides
The dragon.
everybody. No. You're so tiny. No. No.
That's the trick.
So, do you let him eat you and then you cut your way out? Is that
his
your
skin's
plan?
thinner from the inside.
I think that's Murin that should say that.
What?
Skin's thinner. Gonna have him eat me. Alright, yeah, she said her piece about, like, 1, her option of 2 timing, and 2, hey, kinda don't like this egg even existing. It's gonna eventually produce another one of those things, which I just found out existed. It's like finding out. Nevermore. It's like finding out a small version of the thing that you saw crawl out of the Demogorgon. It's like finding a baby one of those. Would you not destroy that while you could? Or would you put it in a glass cage and feed it random stuff and then check on it, outside of school? Stranger Things? Anybody? Bueller? No, okay, never mind.
I know.
Mhm.
I know what you're talking about, but but I'm not sure how much he'll care, but I'm not sure how much we should test that theory. I mean, he's a loner male, but maybe he doesn't want to be.
He wants to be a single daddy, and we should. What
That's
exactly
not-
are we debating
no.
here?
No, I don't know. I just don't feel comfortable. Like, if there's a baby dragon in there, and not just like egg, like if that's a fertilized dragon egg and there is a baby dragon in there, I don't feel comfortable murdering a baby because that's not done anything yet. I mean, that guy, clearly a fucker. Don't think I could take it personally.
Well, to be completely forthright, I'm not worried about that dragon or that egg or these people, like all of these Druger. I'm worried about the thing that's making things sprout two heads, and it sounds like it's in the West Cleft district.
Yeah, where the egg is. The two-headed baby dragon death thing.
Let's not jump to conclusions. If it sprouts two heads, sure, it's fair game.
We will not be alive to make that decision of fair game. That thing blew fire behind us to check for invisible things. We will be barbecued.
I'm just saying, if we get rid of the source of whatever this craziness is, maybe we can get out of here alive. That's my goal.
Spirit Cat, are you not on my side here? I thought you were Mr. Raw Dragons. This is a little dragon in a container for you. Your size.
Well, it's not a dragon yet, it's an egg. I mean, you don't really get much in the way of celebration for
She gets out
cracking eggs.
She gets out her book and is like, okay, so Spirit Cat thinks just egg. Nevermore thinks baby dragon.
I mean, yes, we can destroy the eggs, but you need to take out the dragon too. You don't. I suppose there might be a song out there somewhere. Hey, that guy stepped on an egg, but I mean, you can't dance to it. I mean, well, there was this guy Humpty, pronounced with an umpty, but
I've heard
No.
that one. When I was little.
But
I mean, I'm fine with going and finding this guy and seeing if we could find the egg, but
I mean,
he kind of like pokes at the pin. Can't we just leave? No?
no, they said it wouldn't let us leave. But all targets at the moment seem to point to this Droki fellow, and given certain circumstances regarding our prowess in combat, there is a small, minuscule, tiny chance that an egg may not survive, despite our best or worst efforts. during a combat situation.
Well, if we're battling an egg,
Well, no, it's more the battling the Droki / Grey Ghost while there's an egg present. It
don't attack the egg and it'll be fine. Let's get going.
Anala
Okay.
agrees to nothing.
Okay. Lots of good plans in there. Some I like more than others. But you guys are heading off to the West Cleft District, yes?
yes, let's
Yep.
go find Hoopido.
Okay, you go to find Hoopido.
Hoopido.
Lupido. And
Hoopido.
so, I'm not going to keep doing this again. So, you head to Lotiger's Furrow and begin heading down. There's natural switchbacks and ladders and stairs sort of built into the sides of the cavern, so getting down is not particularly difficult. Before too long, you find yourself at the foot of the 200-foot chasm and walking towards two great stone doors, in front of which are 8 stone guard that you can see at least. As you approach, one of them stands out in front of you and says, "Heading to the West Cleft District, huh?
Yes, sir.
Well, good luck to you." And he makes a whistling noise and stands aside. And you notice that all of the Durgar sort of stand and ready shields and weapons against the door as it opens. Nothing comes out, but they're prepared just in case. And you are able to pass through the gates into the West Cleft District.
That was unsettling.
Is there a special way that we should let you know that we're coming back in through this door?
He says, "Well, if you survive, there's levers on the other side. You can ring a bell. Our lookouts will spot you and open the door for you."
All right. Also, surviving.
Yeah, good luck with you. And you guys pass through the gate. As you pass through the stone gates, the stench in the air changes from acrid and metallic to fetid and repugnant, the fires of industry replaced by squalor. The homes in this part of Gracklstugh are crudely carved from the rock or are just holes in the walls, arranged in no apparent order. The chatter in the air is unnerving, with hundreds of Darrow muttering, screaming at each other, and otherwise reveling in their insanity. Those who spot you look at you with a burning hatred. What would you like to do?
Burning hatred.
As you pass through, the stone doors close behind you.
Huh.
Burning hatred. Wasn't expecting that.
Is there anybody with multiple heads about?
None that you can see, obviously, no.
Boopido.
Or a tentacle hat.
Boopido.
The cavern just as tall as outside? Or is it smaller in here?
It's probably a little smaller. It maxes out at about 150 feet.
Well, that makes all the difference right there.
It totally changes everything, you're right. I mean, it's smaller than the outside, but it's still not small.
Yes.
Murren will step to the front of the group, just not trusting this place, but wait to be told which direction to go.
Yeah, what is your plan now that you're here? Not you specifically, you in general.
Yeah.
We should probably make those before doing things.
Seems like that would be a good plan. But,
Yeah, I'm just gonna walk around with this and just boopido. Boopido.
You're just going to call out Boopido as you go down the street.
Yeah, I mean, they're all looking at me like they hate me anyway, so. And detect magic. I mean, something in his house, probably his book or something else has to have some kind of magic coming off of it, I'd imagine.
True, unless it's,
Should I go up?
more than 30 feet away.
Well, we're walking through, aren't we? Or are we just
You
standing
are.
there awkwardly getting dagger stared?
Well, no one has really proposed what exactly the plan is now. So, I mean, are you going to walk around and just call for
You'll-
Bupido and see if you see anything, or?
Uh,
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason if Nevermore wants to go fly ahead and see if she can spot the
the hat,
yeah,
it happens to be out.
exactly. And I'd imagine a weird hat like that might emit magic too, so detect magic will work for that, maybe. Who knows?
True. Okay, so are you flying up, Nevermore?
Yes.
Okay, so Nevermore, give me a perception check with advantage. Everyone else, just give me a regular perception check as you're wandering through the West Clark District.
Oof.
Oof.
It's
You guys are fucking killing it.
You're rolling exceptionally average.
Spirit Cat?
Wait, Spirit Cat, can I help you? With... Good God, I'm not used to this. I gotta
think we
take that
lost
off of there,
Casey.
sorry.
Yeah, I think we lost him.
Yeah, he said internet is failing me. We'll catch up as can. Okay, I will roll for him then.
With the D4.
Don't botch it, Spear Cat.
Your only hope.
He's got really good perception, so this should go well.
Good Lord, they're all
13.
subpar.
13. Okay, let me check something. You are lucky, I believe. Yeah, you are lucky, because Droki is easy to spot. And Droki is who you spot. You do not find Bupido, but Otis and Murren and Spiraket all see Droki, specifically his hat, sort of through the crowd in front of you. What would you like to do?
I stop yelling Boopido.
He's further than 30 feet away, so if he is magic, you wouldn't know.
We were supposed to follow him to whatever their lair is, so we
you were
probably
basically-
should let him know that we're here.
It's up to you. If you want to follow him without him noticing, that will be stealth checks.
Yeah.
I'm sure Murren is really good at stealth checks.
Oh yes, very good.
Yeah. We established it earlier. Murren is very good at stealth checks.
Better than Valandra, anyway.
So is that the plan? You want to follow him covertly?
Well,
Should we maybe just have Nevermore follow him covertly
yeah,
from
because
above?
I was gonna say that like eventually he'll come back down and be told, and then he could go back up. I mean, people are gonna see him on the way up and on the way down. He kind of, I mean, that's kind of hard to pull off, I would say.
Yeah, that's fair.
But
Yeah, that's pretty attention grabbing.
and they kind of stand out because they're tall.
Yes, you guys are by far the tallest people here. Spirit Cat not included.
Yes.
Well, I have okay stealth. I can try and follow him on the ground, and then the rest can look for me
I mean,
without stealth.
Nevermore can try, but like he could go up and get lost in the darkness up there.
Oh
but,
no, I'm saying both, like just in case something happens.
Yeah, like he'll go up. But the not being noticed upon flight. Roll stealth anyway, as he takes off.
Wow.
There we go.
Okay, so he manages to find a spot scoots up the side of the wall, takes off.
Okay, so so the others of you, because you are not following behind Droki directly, you're going to basically kind of lose sight of him, staying back far enough.
Yep.
Nevermore will be the one who has a sort of a line of sight on Droki, and this is what you will see. Nevermore. Droki will sort of wander through the West Left District for a ways, and then eventually he will duck into an alley. And you can see a little bit into the alley, but pretty soon it's cut into the rock and you can't see down on it. And he goes into the alley, and you can't see the alley connect to anywhere else, and he just doesn't come out.
So, like, he was heading away from the doors?
Yeah, away from the... Basically, he goes in like this, like this, and then he kind of goes like this into the side of the wall, and then is just gone.
He will, circle back. And for funsies, come back down.
Okay.
And it's suddenly there. He's like, he will motion to everybody, just kind of casually, like not like huddle, but just kind of like wander by and be like, "I know where he went." Big grin on his face, and just kind of keep walking casually in that direction.
Okay.
How long is the alley?
Not very long, about 20 feet.
Would I get if we got near to the alley? Would I be able, if I still had detect magic going? Am I getting any juice, or is it probably just a tunnel?
It's a tunnel, but as you get closer to the entrance to the tunnel, you detect something kind of weird. So like when you detect magic, like there's always a tiny bit of like magical static, right? Like everything is a little tiny bit magical, just because of spells that have been cast nearby or inherent magic in the rock from divination spell, or any number of reasons. There's just sort of a cosmic background magical radiation. However, the entrance to this tunnel does not have that. It is totally and completely magically dead.
Is it like the no magic fog thing?
Kinda, yeah, kinda like that.
Do I see that?
Not right now, no. Not right now.
I would relay that to the others and just say, look, I usually get a little something, anything residual, but that's nothing, nada. Just like when we were on the Dark Lake. It's not good.
Just for funsies, he's gonna just sort of like tilt his head and look down that way and see if he feels anything.
Okay. You detect something. It's definitely a portal. It's a ways off. It's not like the entrance to the tunnels or anything. It's like beyond. And it like doesn't seem to. It just feels weird to you. You don't know why or anything, but something about it feels really off. And it makes you like, it gives you like a little tingle up your spine. You don't know why.
Do you know how far away it is?
It gives him the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah.
Not the heebie-jeebies.
How far away is that approximately? From where you are, it's like a quarter of a mile into the wall.
There's a portal that way, but it feels really wrong.
How long, just curious, how long has it been since the time we got the crystal and I gave it to Murin? About an hour or so?
You could say it's an hour, but it's not been a short.
Did anyone explain to Murren what what you need to do to attune to something? Because
And you just kind of gave it to him and said, "Hold this," and that was
Yeah.
kind of it.
Oh, it has to be coordinated with a short rest to dedicate time to it?
Yeah, to attune something, you have to spend a short rest sitting there looking at it, thinking about it.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I'll now communicate that to Mirren and to say next time we sit down, you stare at that rock a lot. You just talk to it and pet it, and eventually you'll feel something for the rock.
kind of glance at Nevermore, like, should I do this? Is she crazy? Not saying that, but just the
I'll
look.
just shrugging. It's okay.
Okay.
Oh, so Casey, we went into the West Cleft district and
We spotted what's his face.
Jerky.
Not the one that was part of the party, but the other one we were looking for.
Yeah.
That's racist.
And successfully stealthed behind him until he went into a hole in the cliffside, basically, and that's where we are right now. And there is a planar portal about a quarter of a mile into the cliffside, and the entrance to the cliff does not have the basically magical background radiation that everywhere else has. It's just dead of magic, which is unusual.
And the portal is giving
And the portal
Nevermore
is
is
fucking weird.
giving it's giving Nevermore heebie-jeebies.
So that's where we are so far.
Mm.
Should
Yeah.
we go in?
Wait, isn't the phase res the dead magic areas?
That is the current working theory. However, no one has gotten close enough to determine if that's the case.
Maybe somebody that doesn't really rely on magic should go over there and look at it. I don't know if anybody...
Spirit Cat starts walking forward.
Excellent. Okay, Spirit Cat.
that escalated quickly.
Knowing where this is, it's not too hard. Although you suspect if you were just walking by, you probably wouldn't notice this. You have to push aside some draped cloths and skins and stuff. But you push through and you find a fissure in the wall. And this fissure is leaking phase rest. It would be, for you, it'd be easy to walk through. For the bigger people, especially Otis, it'd be a bit of a squeeze. But they could get through. And it seems to lead into something beyond.
Can someone remind me what we know about the phase res?
You
was
guys,
6 months ago for me.
Sure. I will. It's been a little while for everyone else, so I'll give you a refresher of what you have learned.
I know I've seen it just being in the Underdark, and I'm pretty sure we encountered it by the... Was it on the lake, or was it by your friend, the...
Both.
Brilliance? Or both?
It was... Yeah, we were on the way, and we passed through it.
Okay.
She made a little shieldy thing, I think.
Okay, so here's what you know. It's sort of a magical floating mist, but it doesn't behave like you would expect normal mist to. Like if you try to blow wind to push it around, it doesn't really respond. It glows. It does not allow divination magic to pierce it. So if you're within phase rest, no one can scry on you or anything else. If you try to detect magic into phase rest, it just detects as nothing. And things like that. You cannot... anyone attempting to teleport into, within, or out of phase rest faces potential serious consequences with the teleportation going awry. And if you cast spells in the phase rest, sometimes fun things happen.
Ooh, fun things.
Sometimes
I thought
fun
nothing.
things
I didn't know fun things.
No, phase rest itself is not anti-magical. It is anti-divination and anti-teleportation. But it is not anti-magical. That's the reason if you detect magic onto it, it shows up as nothing, because you can't pierce it with divination.
Well, Casey... Out of character. Casey gave me a deck that I didn't get to play with, and now I want to play with just tables of things.
So, Spirit Cat
puts his hand out from below the covering the draperies, and then he flashes 18 very distinct symbols, which if you know Gnomish sign language, you will understand. Does anyone speak Gnomish sign language?
Wait.
Cricket.
Okay.
Cricket.
Then his hand disappears, and you can hear his footsteps going pat, 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 as he runs down the hallway.
Oh, excellent. Oh, goody.
Sigh.
So, hearing that, before we get to what happens to Spirit Cat, is anyone going to go after him? Or just sort of let him, this is what Darwin wanted.
Follow? Asking Nevermore.
Yeah. He's good, and he's like, his first thought is like he's going to get himself killed again, and then kind of begrudgingly go after him.
Okay, Marin will go after him.
Hi ho.
Hi-ho.
What did you call me?
I'll come up behind Otis to give him a good shove in. You fart
Okay.
on me, though, Otis, and we are done.
So, you guys descend into the tunnels. And I think that is where we're going to end for the evening. Determine it before we figure out what is beyond.
Because
the
shenanigans.
Yes, because things are going to happen. It turns out someone's in there and they've been wanting to talk to you. And they have something that they need doing. So
Run! It's the worst!
Yeah. But no, that is where we're going to end for the evening.
Yay!
Yay!
You didn't die.
Oh,
You didn't
I
die.
have a dragon.
I thought for sure that was going to go worse.
I think the internet died for Spirit Cat at just the right time.
No!
Because that could have gone bad. Spirit Cat had pushed it. So,
What? Push what?
Mr. Chowd.
Just tie his mustache under his chin.
That'll be good. We'll
'Cause,
do him a favor, and when he offers us a reward, Mono E Draco duel.
Yes, that is an excellent idea. I wholeheartedly support it. I also support double crossing the dragon. Also a good plan.
Never make deals with a dragon.
Double crossing. No. No.
I believe those were your exact words.
No,
That is
no,
a direct Sin quote.
I didn't use the word double cross. I just said
you definitely said
we will
double
go in there and tell him, because he didn't say
Roll back
turn
the
that
tape.
in. That's
Check
fine.
The tapes.
I feel very confident that that's not what was said. What was said, I believe, was 2 birds with 1 stone.
Yes,
No,
that was
after
said.
that, Sid said double cross. I'm going to check the tapes when this one comes out.
Okay.
I know the words double cross were used. But,
Well, that was
I
my
support
original
T-Bird.
So
plan.
has
Now I'm-
Neural been napping, or has he been quietly following along behind them?
Neural got very sick upon arrival in Gracklstugh. The foggy, smoky, disgusting air did not agree with his lungs, and he's been laid up. He can't talk. He's having trouble walking. He's coughing up bunches of phlegm. It's just disgusting.
So he's hanging out with the crew at the inn.
For the moment, yeah. I mean, he might catch up with you guys next week as you descend into the. He might have managed to figure out where you were and follow.
I don't know how he could
He's
Okay.
missing some accoutrements.
Yeah, I'm not sure how he could get through.
We should have just left, like, breadcrumbs. Like, okay, so if you guys happen upon a really angry guy, beard, looks like he's pooping all the time, like, just,
Rude.
I don't know. That's how I interpret the whole telepathic thing. Is just like, how else do you indicate that you're doing something? It looks like you're Yay, D&D happened.
Yay!
Yay!
You know what? I did notice though. I liked the way that this layout was, where we had like the whole city that we were kind of exploring, and then as we went towards those western gates, we changed levels.
Yeah, it was. Thank you. I came up with that myself.
Was that inspired by perhaps a change in our level?
Your physical
Ooh.
like level within the city. You mean like what level of the city you're on?
I could be like art imitating life or character sheets.
He should get some extra points for that curveball there.
Well, I do appreciate the curveball.
All the quests
no.
we accepted, though.
Yeah, you haven't turned them in yet.
Yeah,
We
but we're
turned
going
it
to.
up.
We're
Yeah,
good for it. We got the
serious
badges.
septic.
We're good for it. Just give us XP now.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
said our
can do
goal
that
was to
way.
be able. You said our goal was to be able to explore the whole city, and what can we explore? The whole city.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We have accomplished
Mm-hmm.
our goal, 100%.
Have you
Never-
left Gracklstugh yet?
I didn't want to leave
That wasn't
Gracklstugh.
one
I
of
want
the
to kill the dragon.
stipulations.
Yeah, stipulation
Well,
was
I
you'd be able to
believe-
get over the whole area.
Chapter 4 Gracklstugh ends when you leave to head to your next location.
All right, let's go, guys. Screw all their quests. I don't care about any of their stuff.
You see, through my brilliant engineering, you can't leave. So,
I see a portal dead ahead. I'm a leaving.
I mean, you can absolutely
like,
take that portal, and
That
then
portal.
you're free to make whatever character you wish afterwards.
What if we have Nevermore just fly around and get us, like, discovery experience for flying over each new area of Gracklstugh?
Yeah, but that doesn't add up to very much. You're not gonna
Wait,
get
no. We just next session we don't go into the phase rest. Nevermore just flies us all over the wall, and we just fucking leave Gracklstugh.
Do you know how caves work?
We had to put you in a bathtub to get you downstairs.
We got a boat. We can get a boat in a dark lake. We can go anywhere.
Well, not anywhere.
Do we want to go back in the Demogorgon Lake? Really? Like, of choosing? I don't think Nevermore wants to go back there.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Also, we have to have a talk with Mirren. Like, seriously?
We saw the Demogorgon leave the lake, so that's where we know he's not.
Possible, I suppose.
Oh, you should have
No.
seen my face drop when we were at the Keepers, and he's like, "Here's these pins. They allow you to go anywhere in the city." And I was like, "We get to leave." And then you said, "Except for leaving," and my face drop. You should be at webcam at that point.
I'm glad we weren't on webcam, because there were some times when decisions were being made and people were doing things where keeping a straight face is really difficult. When a particular idea was brought up, I did mute myself and laugh for a little bit. It was a good time. But I can't do that with webcams.
Dun, 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 dun.
How heavy is Otis again? Like 500 pounds?
Yeah, like 500. But that's 500 naturally. Like, I've still got gear and stuff.
Yeah,
too.
because like I was just double checking my capacity, like my
No.
lift,
Sean
push
plays,
dragon lift.
Sean
just for
plays too
fun.
much WoW. If we try and go flying over there, it'll be like, out of bounds, slowly, you're
Out
losing
of
your
bounds.
breath. Drop, death.
Yeah, exhaustion.
Yeah, now you're stuck in Never Never Land.
Did you have fun on your first go, Thomas?
Yeah.
Yes, happy to have you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
It's nice having somebody that can hit stuff. And Nala looks at Otis.
Hey,
Your short little stubbly arms aren't working for you. Maybe you should just like
trying.
just run up to people and start like, and then like turn around and try and hit them with your shell. Maybe that'll work a little better. Just like I'm gonna get you. No? Okay. No? Alright.
You guys could just drop me from a height on top of people.
That's a great idea.
Suck into the shell. That's why we have to turn him into Bowser and like attack spikes all
Yeah.
along his shell.
Think of
And
all
then
the
just drop
quotes we
them on
could use.
people.
Yeah, for sure.
Siege turtle.
I think if I took off all my gear, I might be able to lift him, moving like 5 feet around.
That would be great. Well, you could spin him in a circle and then get some real, like, momentum going.
Oh yeah, totally.
Just launch him like a frisbee.
Because that's how that works. I'm sure that's 100% how that works.
Well, if we have the right
Works in Mario
motivation
Kart.
music, yeah. If we're getting surrounded by people, you and Murin have a look in your eyes, and you guys are like, yes. Link up arms, and there you go.
What is going on?
All bets are off since we put you in a bathtub to transport you. I'm sorry.
It worked.
I don't know if that makes it more or less ridiculous.
A little of both.
Yeah, I can technically lift up to 600 pounds.
That's a lot of pounds.
But
Yeah,
that doesn't
plus
include you
got
wearing
450.
any of your stuff or Otis wearing any of his. Because you're, what, 5 and change without your shit? Good God. All right. Otis, you're getting
Boy.
the low-fat mushroom and gruel diet.
Yeah, you guys are making fun of Thember Chow. Fucking Otis over here.
His number chest like, oh, just stand next to me. It makes me look thin. I believe it is time for me to run away because I do have to wake up early tomorrow for unknown reasons.
Have fun at Walmart.
Work.
I have to.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. I'm going to
Thanks,
stop the
guys.
stream.
Night.